Never fall for your brother's best friend. A sweet small town, friends to lovers, romantic comedy. Sweet Spring Kisses. Written by Abby Greyson. Narrated by Lexi Bolter.
And Zach Young.
Chapter 1. Emily. He rides through the smoke and crush of men, fighting the sound of clashing swords surrounding him. He has only one mission in mind as his horse plows through the battlefield, his sword slashing anyone in his reach, his heart pounding. The smoke clears, and he sees her surrounded, her sword flashing silver as she takes down the enemy. He rides hard toward her, sweeping her up into his horse.
Earth to Emily!
An amused male voice cuts through the sounds of battle in my mind. I blink a few times and feel my face getting hot.
Really into that one, were you?
Mason flashes me a grin that makes me want to melt into the stool. I've had a crush on him for years, one that I thought I'd be able to get rid of when he went to play professional football. Now he's back, and this stupid crush hasn't abated one bit. Yeah, it's a good one. I think I will put it in the Valentine's display. What can I get for you?
Those Danishes look great. How about one of those and a cup of coffee?
Coming right up. I take one of the Danishes out of the case and put it in a paper sleeve before grabbing a to-go cup and filling it with coffee. How is the knee? I ask him. Mason is back in town after suffering a career-ending knee injury in the last 30 seconds of the Super Bowl. His team won, but he lost his career in the process.
All healed up. I'm continuing with the physical therapy exercises to keep building strength, but otherwise, all good. How are things in the book business these days?
He takes a sip of his coffee. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry to get to work, and it makes my heart give a little leap. Could he possibly be spending extra time with me for a reason? Good. The skiers from the Camden Snow Bowl are giving us business. It's been a really good year. They opened up with those new runs, and it has brought a lot more people in.
Any of them wearing a kilt?
He asks, tapping the cover of my book. Unfortunately not. I laugh. My love of romances and happily ever after is well known around town. I spent the better part of my teen and young adult years with my nose stuck in one romance novel or another.
You never know who will come sauntering into the bookshop. Your happily ever after could be just around the corner.
He winks at me and picks up his Danish.
I'd better get going. You know how the captain gets if I'm late. See you around, happily ever after girl.
I wait for him to leave before I let out a sigh. Mason is not looking for a happily ever after girl. He made it clear at the end of his last relationship that ever after is not in the cards for him. He's just as cute as ever, Leah says, coming around the corner and sitting a stack of books on the counter. He is, and nice too. He didn't let the fame go to his head. What's with all the books? It's a bookstore. Leah laughs, and I shake my head. Mrs. Robertson is coming in for her monthly haul. I've spent the last hour on the phone with her, wandering the stacks, picking out books, and reading blurbs. She keeps us in business, I say, and Leah laughs. That is true. I think she pays our monthly expenses all on her own. Imagine living her life in a cozy cabin in the woods, a huge stack of books to read, and all of that quiet. Ugh, it sounds like heaven, Leah sighs. Still watching the kids on Saturday? I change the subject. I don't know how Tiff does it. I love my niece and nephew, but taking care of them is exhausting. I'm sure you'll get used to it. I start scanning and packaging the books. What was Mr. Handsome doing here? She asks as she walks to the back for the next stack. He was just here for coffee and a Danish. Still got that crush from high school? I feel the color drain from my face. Can she tell I still have feelings for Mason? I'm glad to have a few moments to collect myself while she is in the back. That was a long time ago, Leah. I mumble under my breath. Come on, that's not something you forget. You were devastated when he got the full ride to Stanford, she says, her words bringing back those feelings of loss and heartache in sharp detail. He was always laughing and joking with me, teasing me about my reading, and calling me happily ever after girl. I know that he sees me as just Jack's little sister, but it felt good to have his attention. Then he was gone, and life was bleak. I've dated, of course, but no one has ever held a candle to Mason. That was a long time ago. He's Jack's best friend, Leah. He was always at the house, and now we're just good friends. How is your hunky brother? I haven't seen him stop by in a while. Leah tries to act casual, but her demeanor makes me wonder if she's carrying a torch for Jack. I'm not about to ask her. I don't want that laser focus she has to turn on me. He's been busy with work. Once he was promoted to captain, he had quite the mess to clean up, and I think it's taking a lot of his time. He needs to have more fun. All work and no play is going to wear him out. I know he goes fishing with Mason a lot, and he comes over quite a bit and mooches dinner off me. Is he dating anyone? She asks, not looking me in the eye. No, I don't think he has the time, and he hasn't said anything about anyone catching his eye. If anyone would know, it'd be you. Sometimes it makes me jealous that I'm not closer to my siblings. They were all itching to get out of small-town Maine and get to the big city. Not us. We're homebodies. She grins. She had her time in the city and decided it wasn't for her. When she came back, we opened up the bookshop and cafe. The Danishes went fast today. I'll have to make a bigger batch tomorrow, she muses as she walks around to look at the display case. Those chocolate chip cookies are going to get massacred this afternoon. The chicken salad, too. You're a culinary legend. And then we trap them with soft lighting, relaxing music, plush seating, stacks of books, and up go the sales. She does a happy little dance to celebrate our envisioned full house. That's the plan anyway. I'm going into the back to work on the lunch stuff before the rush. Call out if you need help up here. She saunters into the back, and I wipe down the counter. Hello, my girl. I look up and see Mrs. Robertson. I've got your books all ready for you. Good. I was running out of reading material, but first, I want one of those Danishes, a cup of tea, and a bit of gossip. Coming right up. Mrs. Robertson is the absolute cutest. She is such an inspiration and a truly lovely woman. I saw a handsome firefighter walking back to the station during my walk into town today. He had some goodies from here. Any chance there's a romance brewing? She wiggles her eyebrows at me as we sit down at one of the wrought iron cafe tables. No such luck. He was coming in to get his usual pastry and coffee fix. We're just friends. We've known each other all our lives. That is the best kind of romance. You know each other inside and out. Friends make the best lovers. She winks at me, and I try not to think of Mrs. Robertson and Frank from the general store on their once-a-week date. How is Frank? I ask, changing the subject. Oh, he's doing well. Tomorrow is the anniversary of Elsie's passing, so he's a little down. I'm going to make him his favorite soup and take it over tomorrow evening. You are so sweet. It has to be hard to lose the love of your life, but I don't have to tell you that. Her eyes go misty. My James was a good man. We had 50 years together. Now Frank and I lean on each other. He's good company. She smirks and takes a sip of her tea. Remember what I said about friends earlier? I laugh and sit back in my chair. I hope that I'm just like you when I get older, Mrs. Robertson. You are a treasure. She just laughs, and we gossip a bit longer about the town residents, like we do every month when she comes in for her book haul. Did Mrs. Robertson talk your ear off? Leah asks as she comes out, a tray full of goodies and salads for the lunch rush. She did, but that's okay. I just hope one day I find a love like she and James had. They were a special couple. Not everyone gets that happily ever after. But if anyone else can, it's you. She bumps her hip against mine and grins as she loads up the case. Do you really think the happily ever after is in the cards for us? I ask her. I don't know. I thought that at one time we had both found the people we were going to spend the rest of our lives with, but they weren't meant to be. It's not like this little town is teeming with eligible men. Well, eligible men we haven't known our entire lives. You're right, but there is always the chance a skier or a billionaire on vacation comes in to sweep us off our feet. You really are the happily ever after girl. You've been reading too many books and watching too many sappy movies. If it's going to happen to someone, though, I would bet on you. The bell rings as the first few lunch customers walk in, interrupting our conversation. Happily ever after will have to wait.
Chapter 2. Mason. Henderson said you know where the new nozzle is? I turn and grin at Jack, waggling my eyebrows. Dude, are you ever going to grow up? He sighs, and I laugh. Nope, I don't plan to, I tell him while grabbing a fitting off a nearby shelf and handing it to him. I thought when I blew my knee out, my life was over. My career in football, to be able to do what I loved, all of it. Then, a week later, my girlfriend turned down my proposal and walked out. It was the worst time of my life. That turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I learned the woman I loved was only with me for the money and the prestige. When I left this small town, it was in a blaze of glory. When I came back, I had my tail between my legs. I was offered a job and never-ending support from the entire town. I was still a hero in their eyes, just a different kind now. Hey, what are your plans for the weekend? I was thinking about taking the boat out and getting in some fishing, Jack says. Sign me up, buddy. I'm always available to show you up. I nod as my phone rings. He shakes his head. Hey, I caught 3 last time, he grumbles as I pick up my phone. And I caught, what was it again? 7? He shows me a rude gesture and I chuckle before turning my attention to the call. You sound good, Sanderson. The voice of my former coach floats across the line, and I feel a little of the joy at teasing Jack leave me. I have a great life in Cottage Grove, but that doesn't mean I don't miss the adrenaline highs of the game now and then. Hey, coach, what can I do for you? I ask him as I wander away from the other guys. I need your help, Sanderson. Blunt as ever, coach. But if you haven't noticed, I'm not much help on the field anymore. I don't need your help on the field. I need your help with the charity gala. I sit down on the bumper of the engine and sigh. The one thing I hated about being a professional athlete was the social obligations. I didn't mind the visits to hospitals or the Make-A-Wish meetups with the kids, but it was the society stuff. Mingling with the boosters and schmoozing was what I hated the most. Do you need some donations? I can sign some gear, maybe get one of the ladies from around here to bake a few pies. Coach sighs. Your presence is what I need, Sanderson. In New York? That is a hard pass, coach. I'm working, and I can't leave my guys in the lurch and understaffed. I'm sure someone else can help an elderly person off the floor or get a cat out of a tree for a few days, he scoffs. It's much more than that, coach. I know you've never been to Cottage Grove, but I'm a member of the search and rescue team as well, and one of the only 4 certified divers. We're right on the ocean. It's not all helping old ladies with their groceries and rescuing cats. Sanderson, I didn't mean any offense. I'm just in a world of hurt here, and I could really use your help. Your presence at this gala could make a huge difference to the boosters, and that could make a difference between me having or not having a job. I close my eyes and rub one hand down my face. I know that my former team is on a losing streak. They just don't seem to be able to get things together, and the boosters have to be all over Coach because of it. He's the reason I was even drafted in the first place. He saw something in me and fought to get me on the team. Now he is asking for a favor, and I can't really say no. I owe him. Fine, I can come down for the gala weekend. Do you really think having a washed-up former player will make that much of a difference? Sanderson, we both know that you were the best in the league before the accident. People are still talking about that play you made to win the last championship game. How many rings do you have again? 5, Coach. 5 championship rings before the age of 30. That is impressive no matter what. Boosters are still in awe of you, and if I can tell them you will be at the gala as a favor to me, I might be able to keep my job and try to get this sorry excuse for a team turned around. Hell, maybe you can even come to practice. It might help morale. I will see what I can do, Coach. Text me the dates and I will clear it with the captain. You're a lifesaver, Sanderson. I won't forget this. I will take care of everything and get you the best accommodations in the city. What about a date? Do you need me to find you some arm candy? I wince at his words. First of all, women aren't arm candy, Coach. And second, I can find my own date. Thanks again, Sanderson. I need to make some calls. I'll text you the details. I end the call and hear a chuckle. You're such a bleeding heart, Mason. He played you like a fiddle. I know, but I'm loyal. It's just who I am. What did old Coach Ferguson rope you into now? Jack asks, sitting beside me and handing me a cup of coffee. He wants me to come to New York and attend some charity events and a gala. You hate that stuff. I can barely get you to show up for a clam bake or a cookout, and that is with people you know and like. I'm surprised that you're going to a place you dislike to schmooze with the boosters. I owe Coach. Without him, I never would have had a pro career at all. Now, on to the next problem. I need a date. I can't believe that you would have a hard time finding someone to get dressed up and schmooze with society's finest. That isn't the problem. The problem is I don't want someone who's going to expect some romantic attachment after the weekend. I don't want to move back to New York, and any of the women I would ask to accompany me aren't going to want to move to a tiny town in Maine. Ask Emily, Jack says, as if it is the most obvious answer in the world. Emily? I raise an eyebrow, thinking about his bookish, quiet sister. She runs a business and deals with customers all day long. I've seen her interact with the tourists, and she is good at it. She's the perfect choice. She won't want to date you. She's known you your entire life, and she knows who you really are. Jack smirks, and I frown at him. But the idea is growing on me. Do you think she'd even want to go to New York? Of course. The libraries, museum, all that culture. She won't want to live there. But I bet you can convince her to go for a weekend if you offer up a trip to the Museum of Modern Art and a trip to the New York Library as bribes. Jack, I think you might be a genius. I slap him on the back as the bell above our heads starts signaling a call-out. Emily is the perfect option. She's pretty, sociable with strangers, and she will have no expectations of any kind of romance. We can spend a nice weekend together and then come back to town and resume our normal lives. Schmoozing in black tie is the last thing I want to do for a weekend. But showing Emily around New York will be fun. I slip into my gear and get on the engine. What do we have, boys? I ask the others as we pull out of the station. Some tourist is stuck out past the bay and their boat capsized. Get ready to get wet. He smirks at me and the dive team as we pull out of the station. Beats rescuing cats out of trees, one of the other guys says, and we all laugh. Do you think you'll feel beholden to him forever for getting you on the team? I mean, you blew out your knee in the name of the game. I think that might be enough sacrifice, Jack says as we speed toward the harbor. Jack has always been protective of the people he loves. If he thinks Coach has taken advantage of me, he is going to say his piece. It's just a weekend of parties. And if it will help the team and coach, I am glad to do it. Besides, the charity is to help children with cancer. That is something bigger than me. Do you miss it? I know when you first came back, it was hard to readjust to small-town life. I do sometimes. The roar of the crowd and the adrenaline from getting a kick straight through the uprights. I don't miss the practices or having to miss important family events, or feeling like my body is stiff and sore every morning after a game. Not knowing if someone wants to be with me for the fame and fortune, or because they really love me. I trail off, and Jack shakes his head. Julia was a piece of work. Not all women are like her, Mason. I know, Jack. I'm just not in a place to start dating in a serious way. If I take Emily, then I don't have to fight off women all night long. Poor Mason has to fight off beautiful models and socialites all evening. It sounds great, but it's less great when you know they don't give a darn about you, and all they want is a piece of your wealth and fame. When you put it that way, it doesn't sound great. You need someone who doesn't care about all that. A down-to-earth type of girl. Right now, I just want a date and not someone that is going to expect a relationship out of it. After this rescue, it sounds like I will be going for another cup of coffee. I hope Emily is up for this idea. It would be nice to spend some time with someone who isn't looking for anything from me but friendship, and who I don't have to worry about being dazzled by the lifestyle that I used to live. I left all that behind because of the injury. But now that I look back on it, despite the fame and the wealth, it was an empty life. Being the hero of Cottage Grove for saving people and even cats from time to time is a lot more rewarding than being praised or criticized due to the game I played. The more time that passes, the more I realize that hurting my knee might have been the best thing that happened to me. This town is not exciting, but everyone helps out everyone else and pulls together when something goes wrong. That, to me, is worth more than any football contract. It took me going away and coming back to realize what's important in life.
Chapter 3. Emily. The bells tinkle over the door, and I look up to see Mason walking into the shop. Why is it that every time I see him, my heart beats a little faster? I'm an adult. This stupid crush needs to end. He's never going to see me as anything other than his best friend's little sister. Hey there! 2 times in one day. How did I get so lucky? I smile at him, and he grins back, making my heart flutter faster in my chest.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Do you have a minute?
He asks, and I raise one eyebrow. What could Mason possibly want to talk about? Sure. What's up? I ask and lean on the counter. He shuffles his feet and looks around.
Is there anyone else in the store?
My heart starts to pound. Why is he so nervous? Why does he care if someone overhears our conversation? Nope, just you and me. He takes a deep breath.
Do you have plans the first weekend of next month?
I stand up and shake my head. No. Do you need me to watch Duke while you guys go fishing? Mason's Mastiff and I are in love, and beside Jack, I'm the only person Mason allows to watch him when he's out of town. You know I'm always up for a date with my favorite man. He chuckles, and my heart drops down into my stomach. I'm not sure why he's being so secretive about asking me to watch the dog. That is, unless he's going on a date and doesn't want anyone to know. The bane of small towns is gossip, and if they think that he is starting to date, it will spread like wildfire.
No, I don't need you to watch Duke. But that reminds me, I need to make sure that Jack is available. I want to ask you to go to New York with me.
My heart starts to race, and I feel like I'm in one of my books. The handsome firefighter comes to ask the mousy bookstore owner for a date because he has secretly been in love with her all this time. He doesn't want one of the beautiful models he had on his arm in New York. He wants the small-town girl with the heart of gold. I snap back to reality and shake my head to rid myself of those thoughts. New York? I ask, and he runs his hands down his face.
This is dumb. I shouldn't feel so weird to ask you this. I need to go to New York for the weekend for a few charity events and a gala. I need a date. I was wondering if you would come with me.
I open my mouth and then close it again. Is he asking me out, like, on a real date?
You're perfect because I don't have to worry about there being anything romantic. I can show you the city, take you to the art museum and the library, and then we can come back home and all will be well.
Tears want to flood my eyes, but I hold them back. Of course he doesn't want me to go on a real date with him. He wants a safe and solid person that can string a sentence together and impress the boosters, but not catch feelings for him. Too late. That already happened a long time ago.
Please, Emily. You would be doing me a huge favor. I know shopping sprees aren't your thing, but they have huge bookstores in New York where you can go wild.
I laugh, and I know it sounds a little hollow, so I smile to cover it up. Of course I'll go and help you. Someone has to protect you from all those scary long-legged beauties.
You have no idea how persistent they can be,
He says, and I can't help but roll my eyes. Yes, it must be very hard to have every available woman throwing themselves at you.
Em, are we okay? If you don't want to do this, it's okay. I'll figure something else out.
I feel my face heat and take a deep breath. It's not Mason's fault that I've been carrying a secret torch for him most of my life. He is a good friend, more like family, and he needs help. A free trip to New York and being able to see the sights is no small thing. Plus, I can spend alone time with Mason without it looking weird. No, it's fine. Just had a long day. I would love to go with you. He grins.
Thanks. And can we keep it under wraps for a bit? I don't want the gossip to start the weird dating or something. I mean, people would be crazy to think that, right?
I smile again. Right, they would. No one would ever think a handsome, famous guy like Mason would want to date the local bookstore owner.
Sounds good. I'll stop by tomorrow and we can iron out the details. I can give you one of my credit cards to use. Besides a dress for the gala, you might need some casual clothes that are a little nicer than jeans and cardigans, too. There are some events in the afternoon we will have to attend.
I look down at my lived-in jeans and hunter green cardigan and nod. He is right. This is a little too casual for the socialites of New York. Sounds like a plan. I smile at him, and he waves as he walks to the door.
I really appreciate this, Em. You are really a lifesaver and the best friend a guy could have.
It is really hard to dress up fancy and get a free trip to New York, I tell him, and he laughs before walking out. I hurry behind him and put the closed sign up. I'm closing up a few minutes early because I don't think I can pretend to work for another 10 minutes. Swiftly walking into the back room, I sit at the little table and put my head in my hands. The tears come in big, racking sobs. Any hope I ever had that he would look at me differently was crushed today. That was the final nail in the coffin of the fantasy of Mason looking at me like a woman and not the kid sister of his best friend. It's time that I quit holding on to that and start looking around. There are some really cute, eligible bachelors in town. The new lawyer, for instance, who comes in and buys books that I don't think he is actually reading, is a possibility. Next time he flirts, I'm going to flirt back. I can't keep sitting around waiting for Mason to wake up and see me as relationship material.
Hello, Emily. Do you happen to have the new Zach Williams book in?
I look up and see Stuart in his suit and tie standing in front of the cash register. I put down the book I'm reading and give him what I hope is a warm and flirty smile. A little Buzzman's Holiday? I ask him as I come around the corner to one of the displays at the front of the shop.
I can't believe I didn't see it when I walked in. I can't wait to see if he gets the cop to believe that the judge is crooked.
I've read it. Maybe we should chat about it when you're all finished reading it. I would love to hear what you thought of the story from a real lawyer's perspective." He laughs, and it's a rich, throaty sound that should give me tingles. He is handsome, single, has a good job, and is established here in Cottage Grove. I just need to be open to a new idea of how I see him.
I hate to burst your bubble, but being a small-town lawyer is nothing like the epic court battles Zach finds himself in.
I shrug and ring up his book. Just the same, it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on the story.
How about we go to dinner next week and discuss?
He says as I hand him his bag. That would be lovely.
Thursday at 6?
He asks, and I nod as I hear the bell jingle. I look up to see Leah come in. She holds the door for Stuart as he walks out. "Please tell me he finally found the courage to ask you out. There is no way that man is reading some of the books he's bought." "I think he will read that one. We have a date next Thursday to go to dinner and discuss the latest Williams novel." A lawyer reading a book about a lawyer? I wonder if he finds that boring. I shrug. He says that Zach's cases are much more exciting than his. Maybe he lives vicariously through him. Like you and your happily ever after stories. She grins at me and I roll my eyes. I just hope that you aren't living out your serial killer fantasies when you read one of those books. If you ever need a body buried in the woods, I'm your gal. She smirks, then changes the subject. Word around town is that you are quite the hot commodity. You are going to New York on the arm of our most eligible bachelor? Thinking about reviving that old crush, are you? She bats her eyelashes at me, making me laugh. So much for keeping it quiet. I hope Mason doesn't think I told anyone. I murmur, reminding myself to text him later. I never should have told you about that when we were kids. If I had known you were going to hold it over me for the rest of our lives, I wouldn't have. Just teasing. But a trip to New York? That will be fun. You can go to the library and MoMA. The best part is, you won't have to worry about your date getting handsy at the end of the night. Yes, it will be a good weekend with a good friend. I smile and hope that it appears genuine. I'm trying not to think about New York, spending so much alone time with Mason. It has been my dream to spend time alone with him since I was a young girl fawning all over him. Not that he ever noticed, but this will be different. We will just be friends, and I have to remember that. It will be a good time. Maybe not as fun as a book discussion with a handsome lawyer. I wink at her as she sighs. He is handsome, smart, and funny. The way he laughs is all smoky. She trails off and blushes. Do you need to be the one going out with him? I tease her, and she shakes her head. He's not my usual tattooed biker bad boy. Hard to find in Cottage Grove. I raise an eyebrow, and she gives me a smile. Tell me about it. Hence my dating drought lately. I might have to take a trip to Sturgis this year and get my biker fix. I shake my head as she heads into the back to start mixing the dough and getting tomorrow's treat inventory ready. Not only is she my best friend and business partner, but she is the best baker in all of Cottage Grove. In my opinion, all of Maine. There are actually tourists that tell us they come back here specifically to taste her treats. She studied at one of the best culinary schools in the world. But something happened there she refuses to talk about. She came home, we started the business, and all she said was that she missed me and home. I know there's more to that story, but I never have pushed her on it. She will tell me when the time is right. For now, I focus on running the store and a date with a handsome lawyer so I can keep a handsome firefighter out of my thoughts.
Chapter 4. Mason. Hey there, Mason. I noticed you've been spending a lot of time at the coffee shop. Are you thinking about switching careers again? I think you would make a cute barista. Jack laughs, slapping me on the back. I do make a mean cup of coffee, but no. I've been talking with Emily about the gala and the charity events we have to attend. She has to be loving that. I know she runs a small-town bookstore, but she loves to get dressed up. She and Leah are always going on and on about this dress or that dress at the boutique. Spend a lot of time shopping at the boutique with your sister and her friends, do you? I smirk at him. No, dude, but we do have a beer at least once a week together, and I listen to them chatter about all that stuff, if you must know. Why haven't I been invited to this weekly beer session? I pretended to be offended. Because you and Leah always end up arguing when we're together, and no one wants to spend their night listening to the two of you go at each other. Fair point. I can't let Leah have the last word. I would never hear the end of it. The two of you should have become lawyers. Too much paperwork for me. The weird thing is that Emily wants to shop at the boutique. I was going to take her shopping in New York, but she turned me down and said she would rather do her shopping in town. I didn't know that they had formal wear like that. They probably don't, but Clarissa would have ordered some in for Emily. Emily wants to help her friend's business. That's just the kind of person she is. He's right. Emily has always been one to help out a friend. She is nothing like the women I've dated in the past. They were all too busy taking a selfie or putting something on Instagram to worry about helping someone else. It was always about building their brand or making sure the right people saw them in the right places. Emily doesn't care anything about that. Not that it matters. I don't have any intention of dating her. This is a friend date, a one-off, and she's doing it to help a friend. People are going to start to talk if you spend too much time over there. The lines are already buzzing with the news that Stuart and Emily have a date Thursday night, Jack jokes. Too late. It got out that I asked her to go to New York with me. Someone must have overheard us talking about it. Wait, Emily has a date with the new lawyer? I ask as I feel my stomach drop. Why do I care if she is dating the lawyer? We are just friends. Something about thinking of Emily out with him doesn't sit right with me, and I don't know why. You're not jealous, are you? Jack teases me, and I push him away. He knows I don't have any interest in Emily at all. She's like a sister to me. No, I'm not jealous. You won't be able to spend all your time at the coffee shop anymore. She'll be busy snuggling up with the lawyer. I start to respond, but the siren goes off, and it's time to suit up. Hurry up, boys, we've got an injury! Crash out on the interstate, and word from the state troopers is that there are possibly multiple casualties, and we're going to need the jaws of life. I run to the bench and throw on my clothes. The conversation with Jack and any thoughts about who Emily is dating leaves my mind. This is going to be a bad one. I just hope that we can get there in time. Hey, Coach. I sit back on the couch and take a long sip of my beer. It had taken hours to get the bodies out of the car. We couldn't save everyone, but the mother and child who were hit were stable when Flight for Life flew them to the hospital. I will never understand texting and driving. If the guy who hit them had been paying attention, he and his two friends would still be alive. You sound beat, Coach says, and I take another long pull from my drink. Long day. There was an accident out on the interstate, but it's all cleaned up now. That sounds like a hard job you've chosen. You know you can always come back and coach. They would snap you up in a heartbeat. Looking to retire already? I ask him, and he laughs. No, I was thinking as an assistant coach of some kind. Don't be gunning for my job yet, kid. I'm not ready to hit the bricks just yet. Good, because I love this job, even on the hard days. I still get the adrenaline rush, but it comes with the bonus of saving people at the same time. You always did like the rush, Sanderson. It's one of the things that made you great. Now, I didn't just call you to talk about old times and offer you a job. You are coming to the charity auction, aren't you? Yes, the auction, the gala, and the brunch. I'll be there. I try to keep the flat tone out of my voice, but I know he can tell I'm not excited. Tell you what, kid, I really appreciate it. What if I fly down there and check out this place you've been living in? We could do some fishing and talk about plans for the events. Why do I have to know the plans? Don't I just have to show up? Well, it might require a bit more than that. I'll fly down in a few days and we can talk about it. I didn't sign up to MC this thing or get auctioned off at some beefcake auction or anything. All I said is that I would show up with the date and schmooze with the boosters. I appreciate it, kid, but we still need to talk details. See you soon. The phone clicks and I take a look at the screen. I have a feeling that there is more to this than showing up and talking with old rich people. Coach has something up his sleeve, and I don't think I like it. I punch another number into my phone. If Coach is coming here to try to get me to do other things for this charity event, I need to warn my date. If possible, I want her to come to lunch with us. She should be able to distract Coach with her good looks and intelligence so that he won't ask me to do anything else.
Hey, stranger. Did the committee decide to hold this thing on the moon, and you're calling me to tell me to get my spacesuit ready?
I cough as the beer I'm drinking goes down my windpipe.
Mason, are you all right? I wasn't trying to kill you with my bad joke.
Yes, I'm fine. I cough hard and set the beer down. It isn't safe, apparently, for me to drink while I talk to Em. I didn't realize she had such a dry sense of humor. Not on the moon. My coach has decided to fly over and talk to me about more details. He wants to have lunch sometime this week. Is there any way you can come and play buffer? Emily snorts.
I thought you idolized this guy. He is the whole reason why you're doing the charity event, isn't he?
Yes, that's what I'm worried about. If he's going to try and rope me into something else. I have no willpower, and will need you to distract him for me. She laughs, and I feel the sound all the way to my toes. Has she always laughed like that? How had I never noticed?
You want the tiny bookstore owner to keep the big bad football coach away from you? I guess if you really need my protection, I can leave the store with Leah for a while.
Em, you are a lifesaver. I know you are already doing a lot for me, and I want you to know that I really appreciate it.
Of course. That is what friends do, help each other out, Mason. Did you live in the big city for so long that you forgot how things work in Cottage Grove? You've been back almost a year. You would think that would be enough time to remember what it's like here.
I know you're right. It's just I forgot what it was like to live around genuine people again. The guys on my team were great, but everyone else just wanted a piece of us.
That's a sad way to live, Mason. I almost think your knee injury was a blessing.
Her words echo my thoughts from the other day. No one else has had the courage to tell me that maybe my knee injury saved me from becoming an egomaniac. Speaking of small towns, the people in Cottage Grove sure love to gossip.
That's an understatement. It's almost a sport here.
Emily grumbles. I heard through the grapevine that you and Stewart, our stalwart new lawyer in town, have a date for Thursday night. I can almost see her face turn red. The long silence after my words has a grin sliding across my face.
We are both single adults who happen to like the same book series and Italian food. There is nothing wrong with us going out and enjoying good food and lively conversation.
Her voice is so prim it has me laughing. That sounded so boring, Em. I can't stop laughing, and soon she is joining in. Her laugh is the best. It is a sound of pure joy.
Shut up, Mason. That is what an adult date is like. Not all of us take a girl to dinner, then to bed, and consider it good.
That is not what I do.
Right. Name one girl you've gone on a second date with since you've come home.
She taunts me, and I can't say anything because she's right. Why are you so interested in my love life? I shoot back at her, and she laughs again.
Didn't you just say gossip is the official sport of Cottage Grove? I own a bookstore with a coffee counter. Other than the diner, Book and Brew is the only place to come and share the gossip. I hear everything, and your serial dating has been a hot topic ever since you came back.
I've been shunted to the side now that you and Stewart are an item, I tell her, and I hope she doesn't hear the little edge in my voice.
First of all, we are not an item. It is only one date, and why do you care? We're just friends.
The silence hangs in the air after her words, and I finally clear my throat and break the tension. Thanks again for doing this for me. It really does mean a lot. I'll come over tomorrow and give you my credit card to take to the boutique.
That's okay. I can pay for the dresses, Mason.
Don't you even try to tell me that you'll pay for the outfits. This is my deal, and you are going to let me pay. I'm not hurting. I still have millions from when I played ball. I donate my salary from the firehouse to charity or back to the firefighters fund. I hear her sigh a little, and it makes me grin. I know that I'm laying it on thick trying to be the perfect guy. I don't even know why. This is Emily, not some woman I want to date.
Good night, Mason. I'll see you tomorrow.
She ends the call and I set my phone on the table. I need to get my head straight and figure out why Emily dating is bothering me so much.
Chapter 5. Emily. Hey girl, are you ready to make Clarissa's year? I went by there, and she has the entire shop done up like some high-end New York boutique with champagne and canopies and everything. We are going to have so much fun. I smile at Leah. I've been trying to get the phone call with Mason out of my head. It felt almost as if we were flirting, and then he was telling me that he donates his salary to charity? From any other guy, that would sound like a line, but I know it's not with Mason. He is such a good guy, and he never let the fame go to his head. I just want the New York weekend over with, because the more things he says, the more I fall for him. How was the dinner date last night? Leah asks, bringing me out of my thoughts. It was fine. We talked about books and have similar tastes. We had a good conversation about the latest Williams book, went to dinner, and then I came home. He reads romance too? Is Stuart looking for his happily ever after? She waggles her eyebrows at me, and I roll my eyes. He doesn't read romance, mostly spy thrillers and legal fiction, which I can never pass up. That sounds like you went on a date with my grandma. Was there any spark at all? I sigh and sit down hard onto the end of my bed. None. I really wanted there to be a spark, but I felt like I was on a date with my brother. The phone call I had with Mason afterwards was more fun. I didn't tell him the date had already happened. I didn't want to talk about Stuart. He looks perfect for you on paper, but if it's not there, it's not there. I shrug and sigh. Someone knocks on the door. That must be the handsome firefighter here to give you an unlimited budget to buy the wardrobe of your dreams. Too bad he is also like your brother. She smirks, and I ignore her as I open the door for Mason. As soon as I see him standing there in uniform, smug look on his face, I can't help but take a deep breath in. The woodsy scent of his aftershave and just him makes me want to melt into a puddle of hormones. Why couldn't Stuart make me want to melt into a puddle of hormones?
Are we going to stand on the porch and stare at each other all night? Or are you going to let me in?
I feel the heat in my cheeks as I stand aside and let him in. You look fresh out of one of those firefighter calendars. Leah grins and waves her hand in front of her face.
Thanks. I've been thinking about talking to the guys about doing one to raise money for the firehouse.
Only if you don't include my brother. I don't want to stare at Jack as Mr. March and shudder every time I walk past. Mason laughs.
We will omit Mr. March from your calendar. There are plenty of women who would like to see Jack oiled up with his shirt off.
Leah sighs and we turn and look at her. What? It's okay for me to admire fine male forms even if one of them is your brother. He isn't related to me. She smirks and I just roll my eyes. If it is male and breathing, you think he's attractive. Guilty. She shrugs and Mason laughs.
Some things around here never change.
He pulls out his wallet and hands me a shiny black card.
Do some damage, Emily. You're doing me a big favor. Well, 2 now that you agreed to have lunch with Coach. Don't hold back. I can afford it, I promise. And remember, every dollar that you spend goes back into the local economy.
Don't worry, I will make sure she does some serious damage. So we're talking a gala, a silent auction, and a brunch? Brunch is like breakfast and lunch, right?
Yes, and the brunch is casual, of course, but the other 2 events are black tie. Get whatever you need for the weekend. Buy yourself an entire new wardrobe. I don't care. This is a huge ask, and I really appreciate it.
I take the card and slip it into the back pocket of my jeans. No matter what he says or how much I want to help the boutique, I'm not going to buy an entire new wardrobe.
You ladies have fun. Oh, and Leah, get yourself something nice too.
He winks at her and she laughs. Hot diggity dog! I can't wait to spend some of that football money! She punches her fist in the air and Mason just shakes his head as he walks to the door. He stops with his hand on the doorknob and gives me a long look over his shoulder and smiles at me one more time before walking out of the door. Hey, am I missing something here? This is just a friend doing a friend a favor, right? That look had a little heat in it. You are seeing things. We are just friends like always. Now, let's go see what Clarissa has in store for us. Oh, wow, Clarissa! This place is gorgeous. You didn't have to do all this for me. The lights in the shop are low. Vases of fresh flowers are on the tables. The air fresh and floral. A large mirror with an ornate gilded frame sits next to 2 racks full of sparkling gowns and a table filled with shoes and accessories. It was so much fun and makes it a little more special. I know that you two aren't romantically involved, but it will be fun to try on all that sparkle. I also ordered lingerie from La Perla at Mason's request. He said you deserve to feel luxurious from the inside out. Mason thinking about my underwear makes me blush. Thanks, I think. Okay, going into the dressing room, there are various bras and underthings that you need for the dresses. I'll bring you the first one to try on. This is going to be awesome, Leah says as Clarissa hands her a glass of champagne. I go into the dressing room and my eyes widen at all the different kinds of bras and underthings. I run my hand down the soft silk and sigh. I've always been a sucker for soft and feminine fabrics. First dress incoming, Clarissa calls out and hands over a dress. I hang it up as I slip out of my jeans and t-shirt. The slight shimmer of the lavender makes the dress almost glow. It's my favorite shade, and the satin feels cool and sumptuous against my skin as I slip it on and zip up the side. I step out of the dressing room and face the mirror and my 2 friends. That is one heck of a dress, Leah says as I step in front of the mirror. Clarissa takes a closer look at the fit of the dress and walks around me, her brow furrowed in concentration. We can do some alterations. Nip it in here, a bit at the waist, and then raise the hem just slightly so you don't trip. Other than that, it's a perfect fit, and you look beautiful. How does it feel? Leah asks as she gets up to stand behind me. I see her grin in the mirror. Those New York society women aren't going to know what hit them. You're going to have all the eligible bachelors circling. I don't think that is going to be a problem. No one wants to date a little bookshop owner from nowhere, Maine. In that dress, I imagine some men would move anywhere to be with you. I recommend leaving your hair down in a riot of curls with this one. What do you think? Is it a keeper? I'm thinking this one would be perfect for the auction night. It is elegant but subtle and not too formal. I agree. It's perfect. You have the best eye. I smile at Clarissa and turn to look in the mirror again. I imagine pieces of art and jewelry, offers for trips on a yacht to the Mediterranean, and other crazy expensive things that people donate to an auction at this level. I can almost feel Mason's hand warm on my back as he leads me from table to table, chatting with people as I sip my glass of champagne. I shudder at the image, the feel of his imaginary hand on my bare skin. Okay, are we going to look at gala options? I can't wait to see. Leah rubs her hands together, banishing the fantasy as she makes me laugh. That is all it is, a fantasy. Even if he does touch me, it will only be to move me to the next place. He isn't attracted to me, and no amount of polish is going to change his image of me as his best friend's little sister. I drink champagne and try on loads of formal dresses, finally settling on a long red number with crystals and a plunging neckline. It is much more daring than anything I would normally choose, but my friends are adamant it is my only choice. Next are accessories and shoes, discussions of hairstyles, and debates about more casual outfits. By the time we are done, Leah has talked me into much more than I planned. Clarissa and I almost faint at the total. With a swipe of Mason's card, the transaction is complete. Thank you for choosing the boutique instead of those swanky stores in New York. You have no idea what this means to my business. If you tell the others at the gala where you bought your dress, it might help with traffic through here when people come to visit. It's a long shot, but even this sale makes a huge difference to my bottom line. It gives me a little bit of a safety net. I don't know how I can ever repay you, Emily. I hug her and pull back. I didn't do anything for you. It was you who helped me. It was like having my own personal shopper. Someone that really knows me and what makes me comfortable and what will fit my body. I had a great night with 2 friends and didn't have to contend with crowds or snooty shop people. This was the best night I've had in a long time. By the way, how did your date with Stuart go? The whole town was buzzing when the 2 of you were out at Gino's the other night. I sigh and sit down on one of the chairs near the counter. It was a bust. He is a great guy, handsome, smart, loves to read, and on paper, he should be exactly what I'm looking for. But there wasn't any spark? She asks, and I shake my head. Exactly. I think maybe I'll go out with him again and see if something develops, but I don't have a lot of hope. She squeezes my hand. Your knight in shining armor, or cowboy, or billionaire is out there somewhere, happily ever after, girl. He sure is taking his sweet time showing up, I tell her, as I heft one of the bags in front of me. Now go home and put your feet up. You have to be exhausted after working all day and then setting this up. If you need help rearranging the shop, let me know. Thanks, but I think I will keep it this way for a while. I kind of like the new vibe. I tell her it's a pretty sweet vibe and wave as I'm walking out the door. I know she thinks my Prince Charming might be coming sometime, but I feel like I've already found him. He just isn't interested.
Chapter 6. Mason. Hey, Coach. Sorry to keep you waiting. We had an emergency at the station. I stand up a little taller, as if I'm waiting for inspection. You can stand down, Sanderson. This isn't an inspection. Coach chuckles, and I feel my muscles relax a little. It's been a hell of a day, and I can't wait to get some grub and a beer. My friend Emily is going to join us. She's my date for the gala and charity events. I don't want her to be too nervous, so I figured if she knew at least one friendly face, it would be a plus. You should have told me you were dating someone when I asked if you needed me to get you a date. She's a local girl? Coach asks, and I shake my head. It's not like that. She's the sister of my oldest friend, and we grew up together. She's like a sister to me. My thoughts turn to Emily sitting on her stool in the bookstore, lost in a book, with a surprised look on her face as I interrupt her. She looked adorable as that blush crept into her cheeks. My heartbeat stutters at the memory, and then I shake the thought out of my head. She should be like a sister to me. I've known her all my life, but ever since I returned to Cottage Grove, there is something different about her. Those feelings I had in high school were just because we were around each other a lot, and she wasn't like the other girls. She was smart, funny, beautiful, and she didn't care about hair, clothes, or makeup. She read books and cared about things bigger than who was dating who in our high school. But she was, and is, Jack's little sister. They are both family to me. Whatever feelings I am having need to be tampered. Hey, Sanderson! Where did you go? I've been talking to you for the last few minutes and you haven't heard a word I said. Thinking about that girl who is like your sister? Coach smirks and puts the last words in air quotes. No, I was not thinking about Emily. I try to make it sound like that's the dumbest thing in the world.
Who is this handsome man you have with you, Mason?
The sound of her voice is music to my ears. I watch as she walks toward our table and a smile spreads across my face. As she unwraps her scarf and shrugs out of her coat, she looks like a ray of sunshine in a yellow sweater, jeans, and a pair of brown leather mid-calf boots. Her hair flows down her back and eyes sparkle at Coach. A little twinge of jealousy hits me as she extends her hand and gives him a big smile. "You must be Emily. Mason didn't tell me what a beauty you would be," Coach says, and Emily blushes, making my heart beat harder in my chest.
Thank you,
She says, looking away, that adorable blush staining her cheeks. She immediately changes the topic.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. The Crab Shack has the best seafood in Maine.
Coach gives me a big wink as Emily takes her seat. "This one's a keeper, I can tell. Don't you let her get away," he says, leaning over and whispering to me. What part of "she's like my sister" did he not hear? "That was the best meal I've ever had. You weren't kidding when you said the seafood was fresh, and those corn biscuits." Coach grabs his stomach and groans, making Emily laugh. I notice a few heads turn at the sound, and a few of the men are giving her appreciative smiles. I glare at them until they turn back in their chairs. Emily isn't something to be ogled at. "This town is beautiful. I was sharing some of the views with the team owner while I was waiting for Mason." I didn't think it was possible for Emily's smile to get brighter.
It's my favorite place.
She says,
I've never wanted to leave here. Travel, sure, but find a home in another place? Not a chance. Nothing beats Cottage Grove.
"I can see that. What would you think about having the gala and charity events here instead of New York?" My eyes widen in shock. Have the gala and charity events in Cottage Grove? The team owner was already suggesting it after seeing pictures. Plus, his wife is an avid skier and Camden Snow Bowl is one of her favorites, Coach continues. The team event planner checked in with the ski resort and they had a cancellation at the yacht house on the weekend of the gala. We could have the Crab Shack cater. The food is amazing and a lot more refined than the name suggests. Coach blushes a bit at this comment, and Emily pats his arm as she giggles. My stomach flutters at the sound.
The name makes you think of some hole in the wall. Amazing food, but you're not too sure food poisoning isn't in your future.
Young lady, are you reading my mind? Coach asks her with a chuckle. I feel like I'm at a tennis match as I watch them banter back and forth. Coach has never been a friendly man. Fair and kind, yes, but never friendly like this. I've never seen him so relaxed. I feel my heart expand as I look at Emily. Her presence tends to have that effect on people.
We would love to host your gala. This town may be small, but we know how to throw an elegant party,
Emily says, and I look as Coach nods. It would be a great change of pace, something fresh and different from the same events in the city. It would give our boosters a glimpse of where the great Mason Sanderson comes from.
I love that. We could make him give them a tour of the field where he started with juniors all those years ago, and the high school field where he caught the attention of the scouts. It would be a great package to offer at the auction, or even just make it exclusive and invite all the boosters for a tour.
Whoa, wait! Don't I get a say in any of this? I ask, and the two of them barely glance at me before they continue scheming. The last thing I want is to make this even more about me. This is a small fishing town. There aren't any high-end restaurants or five-star hotels with all the amenities that our boosters are used to. That's the entire point, Mason, Coach responds. Emily joins in as she turns that high-wattage smile in my direction.
They get to experience something new and different. They get an intimate look into the place that built a legend. I'm sure the lodge has rooms. Plus, there are a bunch of bed and breakfasts around,
Emily says, clapping her hands.
This would be so great for the local businesses.
Her excitement is contagious, and it's my turn to feel heat creeping up my cheeks. Hearing Emily call me a legend makes me want to sit straighter in my chair. I'm usually unfazed by all the compliments regarding my career. It's something that a pro athlete gets pretty jaded about as the years go by. But hearing Emily say it is like hearing it for the first time. Let's give Stan a quick call and let him know that Cottage Grove is on board with having the gala moved here. Mason growing up here and now being on the fire department and one of the rescue divers will make an even greater impact. The boosters rarely get to see a player turn into a real-life hero. Emily is nodding with a smile on her face as Coach dials Stan's number. I find myself warming up to the idea of being the center of attention, because seeing that smile on Emily's face is everything. I find myself wanting to see that smile directed at me. What is going on with me? This is Emily, Jack's little sister. Yet knowing that doesn't change the emotions rising up within me. I listen to the call and feel my muscles ball up with tension. This will be great for the town and Emily. With that final thought, I sit back in my chair and grin. It looks like Cottage Grove is going to host its first ever gala. Do you really think the town can handle something this big? Most of the boosters are multi-millionaires, if not billionaires. Do you think our small town can pull something like this off? Emily stops in the middle of the sidewalk and throws her hands in the air.
Mason, have you forgotten where you live? Everyone in this town is family. And what does family do when something is hard? They band together. We need this. I know you have all the money in the world and work at the station because you need a purpose. But some of the businesses here are struggling. People don't want to come to a lazy fishing village on vacation. They want to go on a tropical cruise, or hike a glacier, or sit in the sun on a beach and drink umbrella drinks. We have to find something to lure the people here. The ski resort is great, but that's seasonal business.
She gives me a bit of a smirk before adding,
But you are all year round. If you are the draw, I'm fine with that because it will keep the bookstore in business, which means I will eat at the Crab Shack and shop at the hardware store. You get my drift? The more people we get to come here and patronize the shops, the more we can help our little town survive.
I feel something shift in my chest at her words. I look down at her and feel a smile creep across my face. I don't see my friend's little sister, or the girl I had a secret crush on in high school. I see a woman with sunny blonde hair, blue eyes, and pink cheeks from the chill, who has a passion for the place she calls home. It makes me feel a bit ashamed of myself that I don't feel the same way about my home as she does. You're right. We need to spread the word so everyone is ready for what's coming their way. This town is lucky to have you, Em. She shrugs as we reach the door to the bookstore.
I just love it here, and I know if other people see what I do, they would never want to leave.
It sure made an impression on Coach. As did you. He will be singing your praises for a long time to come. I've never seen him that relaxed and open, and I've known the guy for over 10 years. She smiles and looks everywhere but my face.
Cottage Grove did that.
She says shyly. Do I make her nervous? To test my theory, I step closer into her space. Emily stumbles trying to back up, and I reach for her. Easy there, Tiger, I say, still holding on to her arms.
Thank you,
She whispers. Still holding her arms, I look down and see those crystal blue eyes staring back up at me. I'm caught in the deep blue pools. I feel myself start bending toward her. Suddenly, the only thought I have is touching her lips with mine. The bells of the bookstore jingle, and Leah interrupts my movement.
Hey, Em, do you know where the inventory sheets are from last week?
I drop my arm suddenly, and Emily steps back. She looks at Leah.
They are in the back room on my desk.
Leah looks from me to Emily.
Am I interrupting something here?
Emily gives a nervous laugh.
Of course not.
Leah gives a look and chuckles as she turns around. I hear the jingle of bells again as she heads back inside the store. Emily immediately changes the topic, and the moment passes as if it never happened.
Keep me in the loop about all the preparations. I'll let the local businesses know tonight at our Chamber of Commerce meeting and what to expect. You never know. We could soon be able to label ourselves the Hamptons of Maine.
Now wouldn't that be something? If the small town of Cottage Grove, Maine was suddenly the destination for an elegant and exclusive getaway. I lower my voice another octave and try to add some presence to my tone. Well, Richard, Betty and I spent our holiday in Cottage Grove. What did you do? Her laugh is infectious, and before long the two of us are standing outside the bookstore laughing uncontrollably. It feels nice to let go and just have fun with someone, to not worry what coach will think, the sponsors, the team owner, to not worry if at any moment there will be a call to the bay or to a fire where the outcome is out of my control. This is what I need in my life. A little more fun. And it seems that Emily is just the one I'd like to enjoy more of that with.
Oh, I haven't laughed like that in a while.
She smiles at me as she wipes away a tear while holding her stomach.
I better get in there and help Leah. See you later, Mason.
She waves and then slips into the bookstore, leaving me staring after her. Did she not feel the tension between us? How I leaned toward her, my eyes on her pretty pink mouth. Now all I can wonder is what it would feel like to have my lips on hers. I feel like I just got hit by a brick and she just waltzes into the bookstore with a laugh and a wave. I rub my hand over my face. Jack is going to kill me. Maybe I should talk to him about what I'm feeling and see where he stands. But the last thing I'd want is to ruin our friendship. But I can't deny that I am seeing Emily in a very unbrotherly light. I shake it off and walk toward the hardware store. I need to start spreading the word that the New Yorkers are coming. The town needs to prepare and show its best face, because opportunities like this don't come every day. Let's just hope the events go off without a hitch and Mother Nature decides to cooperate.
Chapter 7. Emily. The scene outside the bookstore keeps replaying in my head. If I didn't know better, I would swear that Mason was thinking about kissing me. But I know that's definitely not the case. He sees me as Jack's little sister and nothing more, no matter what I would like us to be. This is just my romance novel reading, happily ever after girl's imagination making things up. So, are you going to tell me what was happening with you and Mason at the shop? Huh? I ask, trying to figure out what she's talking about. You and Mason looking like you were about to kiss. She stares at me with wide eyes. Stop, Leah. You know he only thinks of me as his best friend's sister. I say, trying to brush it off like it was nothing. But seriously, Mason almost kissed me. Sure he does. I hear Leah mumble under her breath. What did you say? I asked if you were upset that you aren't getting an all-expense-paid trip to New York, Leah says as we walk into the diner, shoving our shopping bags into the corner booth. I know that isn't what she said, but I'm grateful for the topic change. I'm not ready to talk about what happened because I'm afraid to hope, and if I don't acknowledge it out loud, maybe I won't be disappointed when it does turn out to be nothing. No, not at all. I was looking forward to going to the museums and a few of the art galleries, but there's so much hustle and bustle in the city, so many people and noises. Then there is the added benefit of helping the people of our town. It will give a major boost to some of the local businesses. I thought Clarissa was going to cry when we told her that she might want to order in more of the upscale stuff because we are getting an influx of snooty New Yorkers. You are a good person. Do you know that? Most people would be bummed and a little irritated that their trip to the big city with an unlimited budget was snatched away. Not you. The town and its people are always your priority. Don't make me sound like a saint, Leah. Of course I was excited to see things in the city, but I'm a book-loving introvert and loud crazy people are just not my jam. It's not like he told me we were going to Boonesboro, Maryland, and then bailed last minute. Leah looks at me with a blank expression. Why would anyone want to go to Boonesboro, Maryland? I roll my eyes as Susie bustles up to the table. Hey ladies, have you heard? Mason has wrangled it so that his big shindig is happening here. All these rich and famous people are coming to Cottage Grove. The older woman dances a little in her shoes. We are going to make this the best weekend of their lives. We are pulling out all the stops, and maybe we can put this place on the map. We have heard, Susie. Actually, it was... Hey, Susie, that is exciting. Can you get both of us the special with Diet Cokes? I interrupt Leah before she can tell Susie it was my idea to move the gala and activities to Cottage Grove. Coming right up. I hope you have the bookstore spick and span, Emily. And Leah, you better be up for making some extra special treats. We are all going to have to work hard and help each other. She walks off toward the kitchen with a little extra pep in her step. Leah just stares at me. Why didn't you let me tell her that you were the one that brought all of this to the town? Mason couldn't even take a meeting by himself with his old head coach, let alone make a deal to have the event moved here. Honestly, it was more of Coach's idea. I just said the town could make it happen, I reply. Plus, I don't want it to get around that I've been spending time with him. It's all work and planning sessions, but people here won't look at it that way. I would hate for Stuart to think I blew him off for Mason. But more importantly, I don't want all that attention on me. The thought of all that focus makes me shiver. Mason knows how to handle all that from his pro days, and he can have all the hero worship. I don't want it. He saves people every day. He deserves it. Leah sits back and sighs. Girl, when are you going to give yourself some credit? You go above and beyond for this town, and then you downplay your efforts. I see you, Emily. You're an amazing person. You may have saved our hometown. Leah makes the sound of a crowd cheering and makes me laugh. Well, thank you, but it was a group effort, and I didn't do it all alone. I tell her as Susie brings her drinks and lobster rolls with fries. Chef's trying out a new recipe, something a little on the fancier side for the people that are coming in. She puts the plates down on the table. These are on the house. He only wants your honest feedback in return. Of course, thanks, Susie. And tell Dan that we are more than happy to give our honest opinions in exchange for free food any day of the week. I smile at the older woman and bite into my lobster roll. I hear Leah groan from across the table at the same time as I do. These are amazing. Dan's lobster rolls are usually great, but this is next level, Leah says before shoving the sandwich in her mouth and taking another bite. We polish off the sandwiches in record time and sit back in the booth and relax. Mason sent me an invite to all these charity events and the ball. He said he has a teammate that needs a date and asked if I'd be interested. I said yes. It will be fun. Maybe you and I will end up with our happily ever afters with some wealthy football players or boosters. I doubt that, Leah. I can see you striking out of here and getting into all sorts of adventures, but it isn't for me. I don't want to move to the city and get on one of those reality shows, the ones where the women fight like alley cats and flaunt their husband's money. That would be all right with me. I can get catty with the best of them. She winks at me, and I roll my eyes. Again, maybe you and this player will hit it off, and you can ride off with him in his jag, your hair flying in the wind, I say, lifting my hair out behind me. She rolls her eyes. Have you ever thought of writing books instead of reading them? You've got quite the imagination. Now, let's get out of here. I want to hit a few more shops before we go home. Leah grabs my arm and pulls me toward the door. We have an unlimited black card. We are hitting Macy's Intimates because even if no one sees what we have on underneath our dresses, we will be dressed to the hilt with every layer. Leah waggles her eyebrows at me and I laugh. Suddenly, a random thought pops in my mind that I wouldn't mind showing Mason all my layers, but I stop myself. There is nothing but heartbreak down that path. Although, after the almost kiss, I wonder if the real thing would be worth the risk. So, tell me about that almost kiss the other night, Leah says casually as we go through the racks of lingerie. Macy opened the store about a year ago, a transplant from California. Everyone thought she was crazy, but she said that even women in a small Maine town deserved to feel sexy. Then she winked and said she had a huge presence on social media and made most of her money from online orders. The shop did well just with women in town. It wasn't a surprise to Macy that women would want something silky and soft next to their skin, and she was always complaining how long it took her inventory to get there. I don't know what you're talking about, I respond as I look at a black bra and panty set. You would look fabulous in that, even if you are the only one that sees it. Which, if the way Mason was looking at you the other night is any indication, you wouldn't have to be. What do you mean, the way he was looking at me? I frown at Leah. Apparently, when she poked her head out to ask about inventory, she had seen much more than I hoped. He looked like he was dying of thirst, and you were an oasis in a desert. I feel my face heating. Stop! He did not. You are seeing things that are not there. Don't you think you should be concentrating on your own hot date with a football player? Nah, it's just to help Mason out. There is no way some guy is going to quit the NFL to move here and play house with me, and I don't have any desire to go to the big city. Back to you and Mason. Do you think there's something there? I know you crushed hard on him when we were in school. I look at Leah over the rack of clothes. He's smart, hot, and saves people for a living. I would have to be dead 1,000 years to not think he's a good catch. Leah waggles her eyebrows as Macy comes to stand next to us. Hey, girls. Looking for a little something to wear under those gala dresses? I swear, it feels like Mason sent invites to the entire town. I've been busier in the past few days than I have in months, and that is saying something because this place is always hopping. We want something for Emily that will knock Mason's socks off. No cute little bookstore girl. We want hot and sexy. Leah! I shoot her a glare, and she gives me a cheeky grin. Macy is a notorious gossip in this town, and the word is going to spread like wildfire that Mason and I are dating. We are not dating. I'm just doing a friend a favor by going with him to the gala and charity events so he doesn't have to worry about someone getting attached and not wanting to move to Maine. I frown at Leah again, making her laugh. Sure, honey, whatever you say. I tried to get with him when I first came to town, but no dice. He wasn't interested in anything but his career. Macy lets out a huge sigh and looks me up and down. Now, I wonder if it wasn't his career, but a sunny blonde in a cute dress. She gives me a warm smile and starts to pick things off the rack and lay them over her shoulder. Do you have pictures of your outfits for the events? She asks. I sure do. Leah says, whipping out her phone and bringing up the different looks we've chosen for the gala and other charity events. Oh, girl, you are going to be stunning. And I've got just the stuff to make you feel just as beautiful underneath those dresses as you do in them. Macy takes my hand and tugs me over to the dressing rooms. Now, no need to come out and model these. I don't think you are the expeditionist type. Even if no one is going to see them, it feels so feminine and empowering to have on pretty underwear. It's like you have your own little secret. I don't know. I mean, I do have a few things to go under some of these dresses, but they just need to be functional. Macy looks so horrified at my statement, it makes me giggle. Under no circumstances are you wearing functional cotton under a dress like that. It's silk and satin all the way. Now, go in, try these on, see if they fit. She leads me into the dressing room, hangs up her selections, and walks out. Cotton and serviceable. She mutters to herself, making me grin. I take the first set off the hanger and slip into them, looking this way and that in the mirror, trying to imagine what I would look like with my hair done and a pair of heels. I do feel amazing in these. Who would have thought that undergarments could do that for a person? I've been missing out. Going into an event full of high society people, I'll need all the confidence I can get. I try each piece on, not looking at anything but the way it hugs my body. Some of these won't even work for the outfits I've chosen for the gala or the events, but I don't care. I haven't felt this confident in a long time. Putting my clothes back on, I walk out and see Macy and Leah standing there looking at me. I will take it all, I tell Macy, who whoops and Leah laughs. What? It feels wonderful to feel good. What can I say? I shrug my shoulders and follow Macy to the counter. I'm about to blow a month's earning on underwear, but it doesn't matter. It makes me feel amazing in my skin, and I don't know how I've gone this long without these pretty things.
Chapter 8. Mason.
I thought you only needed a date for the gala and the charity events. Now we are adding in meetings with Coach and dinner with your friends? If you're not careful, Mason, people are going to start to talk.
Emily gives me a sunny smile as she pulls on a dress coat and scarf over a cute pale pink sweater dress. She looks cheerful and beautiful with her hair swept back in a simple French twist and minimal makeup. Most of the women I went out with in the past, including Julia, wouldn't leave the house without a full face of makeup and in an outfit worth less than the price of a pony. I love your dress, I tell her as I open the car door and wait for her to slide in. I walk around and slide into the driver's seat before starting the engine.
Thank you.
She smiles again, and I lose all train of thought. I've always been attracted to sleek, sophisticated women. Or at least that is what I told myself. When I left for college, I dated women that were so far from what Emily was like, trying to burn her out of my brain with other women. Turns out it didn't work, because she has more class in that sweater dress than any of my previous dates did in Dolce & Gabbana or Balenciaga. Would it really be so bad? I blurt out as I turn onto the road leading us back into town.
Would what be so bad?
She even looks cute with her forehead scrunched up like that. I need to get this out of my system. I can't date my best friend's sister. She's been off limits for my entire life. If people thought we were dating. I let the sentence hang in the air between us.
No one would think that. I'm hardly your type,
She says, looking out the window. But I see the faint blush across her cheeks. What is that supposed to mean? I ask her as I turn onto the street with the restaurant. She rolls her eyes.
Come on, Mason. Guys like you date girls who look like Julia, not the girl next door.
I pull into a parking spot and shut off the engine, waiting for her to look over at me. When she finally does, there is something in her eyes I can't identify. Anyone would be lucky to be with you, Emily. You're smart, funny, and most importantly, you're real. What you see is what you get, and I, for one, think that is the best trait a woman can have. Plus, you look gorgeous in your dresses. I leave her with her mouth hanging open as I slip around the car and open her door. She looks up at me as she gets out of the car, as if she is seeing a stranger. I put my hand on her back, escorting her into the restaurant. I like being with you, I say, looking directly into her eyes. That's why I asked you to come to dinner tonight. Mike and Lily will love you. I lean in and whisper. I feel her shivers as my breath caresses her ear. This attraction I'm feeling isn't one-sided. The question is, what do I do about it, if anything? Do I risk a lifelong friendship to possibly get the woman of my dreams? Is that woman Emily? Do you remember that 59-yard field goal against the Jags? That was something to see, my friend. Mike grins at me, and Lily rolls her eyes at Emily, who giggles and takes a sip of her drink. I was right. They love Emily, and the dinner so far has been a pleasure. Every time we went out with Julia, it was stilted silence, with Mike and I trying to carry the conversation. This has been natural and fun. Lily and Emily hit it off right away. And when Lily found out that Emily owned a local bookstore and coffee shop, they made a date for the next morning to have Lily come and check it out.
It was a great kick, but I prefer the game against the Bills when he kicked the 48-yard field goal with the wind gusts at 30 miles per hour to win the game. That was a nail-biter,
Emily says. I swear she's trying to pretend that she doesn't see me staring at her. Did you watch my games on ESPN? I ask her, my throat suddenly tight. She shrugs.
Jack and I watched a lot of them, but those 2 games I was lucky enough to see in person.
I stare at her with wide eyes, and her now famous blush stains her cheeks.
Why are you staring at me?
She turns to me with a raised brow. Why didn't you ever tell me? If you had let me know you were coming, I would have gotten you VIP passes and the works. You could have sat in the owner's box with Julia. I don't miss the tightening of her lips when my ex is mentioned. No one from Cottage Grove liked her. I convinced myself everyone was jealous, but now I know it was because Julia was cruel to people she believed beneath her.
I was in town for a book expo both times. I didn't want to bother you and Julia. I just wanted to watch you play.
Her last words are soft. All of a sudden, I feel like she and I are the only people in the room. My heart starts to race as her words wash over me, and my gaze moves from her eyes to her lips and back again. Her blush deepens. Mike clears his throat. He and Lily give each other knowing glances. I thought the 2 of you were just friends.
We are,
Emily and I say at the same time. Sure you are, Mike says, drawing out the word sure as he grins at me and then Emily before changing the subject. I'm grateful for the subject change. Allowing this years-long attraction I've had for Emily to the surface is overwhelming. My reactions to her are starting to make me wonder how long I'm going to be able to hold out before kissing her.
Emily, tell me a little bit about your store.
Lily asks, and I sit back and grin as Emily tells her about going to college to get a business degree and coming home to open the coffee shop and bookstore with money from a trust left to her by her grandmother. My heart fills with pride and a smile crosses my lips. I am so proud of her. It's a cool spot. I go every morning for coffee. It's the best in the state. Her partner Leah is a baker and she makes mouth-watering pastries and cakes. The team hired her to make desserts for the gala and the charity events. Going all local. That's smart. Mike nods his head. How are the residents of this little town doing with the influx of people they are getting?
We are doing great.
Emily smiles.
We had a decent amount of time for a heads up, which allowed for some of the businesses to hire part-time help or ask family and friends to pitch in. It's the best part about Cottage Grove. Everyone in this town would do anything to help anyone.
You are making it sound better and better with every word you say. What do you say, Lily? Are you ready to ditch the big city and move to a small town after this season? What do you mean after this season? I frown at my friend. I'm done with all the game and the drama. I'm getting too old for all that, and we want to start a family. I want to be able to play with my kids, Mason. Not have to get a crane to lift me off the ground. I've made plenty of money and invested it well. We're comfortable and want out of the city. Have you told Coach? We had a conversation. My contract is up this year, and they are waiting for me to re-up or retire. Lily and I talked about it, and I'm choosing to retire. And Lily is writing a novel.
Mike, that was a secret.
Lily looks at Emily, and her face loses all color.
You don't think that is why I was friendly, do you? Because you own a bookstore?
Emily laughs.
Not a chance. Tell me about this book. How fun would it be to have my shop host you a book launch party? Oh, and Leah could cater with all the customer favorites. Maybe even do a cake to look like your cover.
Lily laughs and puts her hands out.
Wait, I am only on the 5th chapter. It will be some time before book covers and launch parties are needed. When it's time, your first party will be at Book and Brew. That's very kind of you. What if it's bad?
Lily whispers.
First, I don't think it will be. But if it is, well, we'll have a bash to celebrate that you had the courage to write one at all.
Tears well up in Lily's eyes.
We are moving here. Mike, let's go house shopping tomorrow. I'd recommend Paige. She is going to be your best friend if you keep reeling people in like this.
I bump Emily's shoulder.
If you guys are serious, you should give her a call. She's fantastic.
Emily scribbles a number on a napkin and hands it to Lily. I hate to break up this party, but I've got to get to the station for the overnight shift. Reluctantly, I stand up from the table. It was really great seeing you again, Mason. And of course, a pleasure meeting you, Emily, Mike says as he stands as well.
I will see you in the morning.
Lily waves at Emily as she and Mike walk out.
Your friends are fantastic.
Emily gushes as we walk out into the cool night air.
I expected them to be reserved and maybe put off by our small town atmosphere, but now they're talking about moving here. It would be amazing to have an author living in town.
I can't help but laugh at her enthusiasm. Emily has always been a ray of sunshine and energy, and I forgot how much I appreciate it. Julia's enthusiasm was limited to things like a high-end handbag or a party where she could be seen by the right people. Emily's honest emotions are like a breath of fresh air. Do you want to come to the station and have dessert with me? I ask as we walk back to my car. Johnson makes the best key lime pie you've ever had. I can run you home after.
But you're working. What if you get called out? I don't want to be in the way. Plus, what would the captain say?
She teases, and I shake my head. I feel a now familiar smile creep onto my face that has everything to do with Emily and how I feel around her. You're a good person. Sometimes I wonder if you're too good to be true.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were flirting with me, Mason.
She smirks and looks at me. What if I am? Would that bother you? I pause, inching the smallest bit closer. I've really enjoyed spending time with you. My gaze holds hers, and my voice deepens as I try to convey without words how I really feel. She looks down at the parking lot, and I feel the last bit of resistance break inside of me. I reach over and tilt her chin up until our eyes connect. I hold her gaze with a question lingering. I want to kiss her, and so I want her answer to be yes, but I won't make a move without her permission. There is a hesitation before a small smile makes its way to her lips. As I lean in toward her, I feel the warmth of her hand on my chest. I know what I'm doing is not the best decision I've ever made, but I can't hold back. When my lips are a hair's breadth away, I feel more pressure from her hand on my chest, and I pull back to look in her eyes. I see the doubt and hesitation there before she says anything.
I'm sorry,
She says, dropping her head.
I'm not sure this is a good idea.
She hesitantly looks back at me. I can't help but feel disappointed. Even though she's right, of course, this isn't a small thing. This is my best friend's sister. I bend down to get at her eye level and smile at her. Don't apologize. If anyone should apologize, it's me.
No need, Mason. There is nothing to apologize for.
She steps back and shyly smiles at me. Removed from her warmth, it immediately feels like the temperature has dropped 20 degrees. Still smiling, I open the car door without a word. Once she slides into the passenger seat, I close the door and take a deep breath. I run my hand through my hair as I walk around to the driver's side. I mentally force myself to slow down. This is not just a random person. This is Emily. And if anyone deserves to be wooed, it's her. What do you say to that pie? I ask when I get in the car.
I could eat some pie.
She smiles back at me, and I feel the tension break. I'm not sure exactly what my feelings for Emily are, but I know that I haven't ever felt this way before, and I want to explore where this goes.
Chapter 9. Emily.
I'm going to have to fight the men off with a stick.
Mason says and whistles, making me blush. I can't help but notice how good he looks in his tux. It fits his body perfectly, and he will be the most handsome man in the room. Stop, I say, feeling my face heat. Him looking at me like that is making my stomach flutter. It's the dress. We both know I'm just me, and as we have discussed before, none of the players are going to give up a career and come live in this little town. I don't want to live in the city, so we would be at an impasse before we even had the first drink.
I don't think you have a mirror, Em. Have you seen yourself tonight?
Mason asks. I decided on the red dress and one of the sets I bought at Macy's. I have to admit that between the dress and the pretty underwear, I do feel truly beautiful and special tonight, just like one of the heroines in my novels. Having Mason make such a big deal about it puts things over the top. It's nice to hear him say these things and look at me like I'm a woman and not just his kid sister. I smooth out my dress with my hands, trying to calm my nerves. Thank you, Mason. I smile, my confidence starting to settle me. Something has been brewing between us, but the past few days, he has put things firmly back in the friend zone. He has been nothing but kind to me, but he has not been anything more than kind either.
I think you're something special, Em.
He says, his voice gruff, and it pulls me out of my thoughts. His words make my breath catch and my heart stutter. Thank you. You look handsome in that tux. I forgot how you look in formal wear. I can hear the breathiness in my voice and hope that he doesn't notice.
When have you ever seen me in formal wear?
He raises an eyebrow, making me laugh. There was the prom. You and Jack, remember? And then I watched when you got the award for the best college player.
You really have followed my career. Why didn't you ever say anything?
I feel myself shrug. It's funny you think I won it. I chuckle. I've known you forever and thought it would be obvious that I'd be excited about your success. The look he gives me is inquisitive, like I'm a puzzle he's trying to figure out. I wasn't going to make a big deal of it. You had your life and were with Julia. She didn't seem to be a fan of mine, so I just let it be. He opens the car door for me, and it's something I'm starting to get used to. Who knew that Mason had all these chivalrous tendencies?
These are for you.
He hands me a bouquet of flowers, and I just stare at them for a moment. They're not just any flowers. They're hand-dipped flowers in my favorite shade of lavender, made out of book pages. As I look closer, I notice they are pages from Pride and Prejudice, my favorite novel. These are perfect, Mason. I whisper as he starts the car. I carefully lay the flowers down gently in the middle console next to me and look out the window so he can't see the tears that are welling in my eyes. I feel like I'm walking in a dream. These last few weeks feel as if every daydream I've ever had has come true. If Mason rode up on a white horse and swept me off my feet, I wouldn't even blink. I know that this isn't real, and after the gala and charity activities, everything will go back to normal, but it's hard not to get my hopes up this time. He really sees me. Regardless of whether that happens, the fact remains that he's my brother's best friend, and keeping our friendship is the most important thing to me.
Are you ready for this?
He asks, and I blink looking out the yacht house where the ski resort holds all its big events. To be honest, in a small town, it's the only place big enough to hold a crowd this size. It's on the water, and we spent the last few weeks devoted to making it sparkle and adding a few special touches. It doesn't even look like the same building with the fairy lights and the trees reflecting in the water.
Ready to go rub elbows with all the big money?
He asks as he helps me out of the car. I smooth my hands down my dress and take a deep breath. I'm more nervous than I imagined I would be. It's fine. I'm here with Mason, and I will never see most of these people again. Ready, I tell him, and he hovers his hand over my lower back without actually touching me. In spite of that, I can feel the heat from his hand burning through the satin of my dress and straight into my skin. Hey, you made it! Leah says as we walk in. She hands me a glass of champagne and waggles her eyebrows at Mason. I call a truce for tonight. You look too handsome to bicker with. She grins at him, and he comes closer to give her a big smacking kiss on the cheek.
You know I love you, Leah. Without you in this town, there would be no one for me to prove wrong all the time.
Leah laughs and slaps Mason on the arm. Stop with all those compliments. You're making me blush.
Then let me give you just one more. You look fabulous.
Mason is right. Leah looks beautiful in a dress of crushed green velvet. It's just quirky enough to match her personality, but formal enough for the event. Thank you. You're no slouch yourself. It's a good thing you have Em here to fight off all the women. Leah winks at me as two tall blonde men walk up. They look similar to each other, but not quite identical. Em, this is my date Steve and his brother Adam. They are twins and play for Jags. It's nice to meet you both. I hold my hand out and Steve shakes it, followed by Adam, who holds it a bit longer. He looks from me to Mason. Mason gives him a look that apparently has some hidden meaning as Adam sighs and lets go of my hand.
It's great to meet you too, Em. Her name is Emily.
Mason says, his tone short, and the other man puts his hands up.
Sorry, Emily.
I smile at him, hoping to make up for Mason's rudeness. Mason, it's okay everyone calls me Em.
If you'll excuse us, we have to mingle.
Mason says, hovering his hand at my lower back again and leading me into the crowd. Mason, what has gotten into you? What was that all about? I ask as he steers me towards Lily and Mike, who are standing across the room.
Did you see the way he looked at you? Held your hand for a moment too long? Did he not see that you had a date?
Mason growls the words out, and I stop in the middle of the floor and cross my arms. You're making something out of nothing. He was fine, just being polite, and it's not like we're dating. He takes a deep breath.
Sorry, Em. I just don't want you to get hurt by some player.
The words, too late, almost slip from my lips, but I hold them in. I can handle myself, Mason, and to top it off, I am single. I will decide if I want to get to know anyone better. Thank you very much. I give him a glare and then paste a smile on my face, walking up to give Lily a hug. You look gorgeous, I tell her, and take in her flowery floral gown. It makes her look like a fairy, so light and delicate. Thank you. I got it at the shop in town. Clarissa helped me. I actually had another dress picked out, but when I saw this one, I just had to have it. I do a little mental cheer for the local shops. It was the right choice. You look breathtaking, I gush, looking over to see Mason in deep conversation with Mike about some football-related something or other. Is everything all right with you and Mason? Lily asks, and my gaze snaps back to her. Of course. Why do you ask? She bites her lips and I gesture for her to continue. Well, it just looked like the two of you were arguing before you came over here. She whispers, and I laugh. Just at that moment, Mason looks over at me and smiles. I feel the look all the way to my toes, but I pretend not to see him looking at me. It's because we were. Mason was upset because he thought one of the players held my hand too long and was flirting. Lily raises her eyebrows. Was he flirting? The player? He might have been, but what does it matter? Mason and I are just friends. Are you sure about that? Because I've never had a friend look at me the way he looks at you. Mason and I have known each other forever. He and my older brother are best friends. I'm pretty sure that anything you see is just that. There was a moment. I sigh and shake my head. But that was silly. We are just friends. Before she can answer, Mason turns and asks if we want to peruse the appetizers.
What was that little conversation about?
Mason asks, leaning down to whisper the words in my ear. She just wanted to know what we were talking about before we came over and if we were fighting. I told her that you were being the overprotective brother type, and I had to tell you to back off.
Brother?
He asks, and I look up to see emotion swirling in his eyes. Of course, I say, with a bit of uncertainty. You've always been a bit overprotective. Even when we were younger, just like Jack, we were just friends. You don't want anything else, do you? My eyes widen as the words slip out of my mouth. I bite my lip and watch as his gaze slips to my mouth and then back up to my eyes.
Yeah, Em. We are just friends,
He says flatly. He turns to the appetizer table and starts loading a plate. I close my eyes for a moment and absorb the hurt of that statement. I thought maybe just once someone was going to pick me, that I might have one of those romance book moments where the man I've loved most of my life looks down into my eyes and tells me that he wants me for all time, that he loves me before he sweeps me off my feet and out the door, kissing me like he can never get enough of me. I pick up a plate and blindly put food on it. It all looks amazing, but I know it's going to taste like sawdust. Despite my assurances to everyone that Mason and I are just friends, I got my hopes up, like a silly, naive girl. I straighten my shoulders as I grab a glass of champagne off the end of the table and down it before grabbing another one. I'm not letting Mason ruin my mood. I look amazing and I feel amazing in this elegant dress. I've never felt this good before. I'm not going to let his friend zone affirmation steal this feeling from me.
Hello, Emily. Would you like to dance?
The deep voice has me turning to see Adam standing in front of me with his hand out. He looks over at Mason and gives him a smirk.
Word on the street is that the two of you are just good friends. So you won't mind me taking this beautiful creature for a dance, will you?
I hold my breath waiting for Mason to fire back at Adam. Tell him that I'm his and no other man can touch me.
You don't need to ask my permission, but you do need to ask hers.
Mason says, his voice devoid of emotion. Adam looks at me with a sparkle in his eye.
Emily, would you like to dance with me?
I put on a smile that doesn't quite reach my eyes. Yes, thank you. I stand up and place my hand in Adam's large, warm one. He leads me out to the dance floor and takes me in his arms. I can feel Mason's eyes boring into my back as we start to dance.
This is a beautiful town, Emily. I can see why you live here,
Adam says as he moves me around the floor. Cottage Grove is pretty amazing. I am glad that you are getting to appreciate our piece of heaven on earth. He smiles down at me with a mischievous glint that is actually a bit intriguing.
The city is overrated. I'll be retiring soon and looking for a place to land. This could be somewhere that I would consider. I'd love to have a tour, but would need a guide. Are you available tomorrow afternoon?
The music ends and I look back to the table where Mason is glaring at us. I look back at Adam and smile. Yes, I'd be happy to take you on a tour. He leads me back to the table.
Great.
He winks and heads off into the crowd, but not before looking over his shoulder.
See you tomorrow, Emily.
He says a bit loudly.
What was that all about?
Mason asks, in a tone that could cut stone. Adam said he's going to be retiring in a few years and that Cottage Grove might be somewhere he'd be interested in. He asked for a tour and I said yes. I will be showing him around tomorrow.
Chapter 10. Mason. Dude, if you don't stop pacing the floor like that, you're going to wear a hole in it. What's up with you? I look up at Jack and frown at him. My nerves are frayed and I can barely stand still. All I can think about is Emily and Adam. Nothing is up with me, I'm just standing here. Why haven't we gotten a call? There are only so many times we can wash the engine. I, for one, am glad we've gotten a little break. The last few weeks have been brutal. I know you don't do well with the downtime, but this is another level. Did something happen last night? My mind drifts back to the image of Adam with his massive hands splayed on Emily's back. the smile on her face as she looked at him while he asked her to give him a tour of the town. A tour of town. I mean, come on. That is the cheesiest pickup line I've ever heard. Nothing. I try to keep my voice even as I answer. It was the same boring black tie crap I had to do while I was playing. At least Em was there to keep you company. She's pretty good with conversation and keeping things lively. Oh, she kept things lively, all right. I can't keep the bitterness out of my voice, and Jack raises his eyebrows at me. She even got a date out of last night. Is there something wrong with the guy? Do I need to be worried? I clench my fists and then make myself uncurl them. I run my hand through my hair while I blow out a breath. No, he's a good guy on and off the field. Then what has your panties in a bunch? Jack asks. I just stalk away from him. I'm not admitting that I've got a thing for his sister. Emily is the one girl that was off limits when we were growing up, and she is off limits now. I need to figure out how to deal with these feelings and stop snapping at my entire team. The bell goes off, and I don't think I've ever been so excited to go on a call. I just hope it isn't something stupid like a cat in a tree. I need something that requires hard physical labor to release the tension that my body is holding. If not, then when we come back, I'm going to hit the gym and work my muscles until I can't walk. The next event isn't until tomorrow, so I have tonight off. Coach and some of the other guys asked if I wanted to go out for dinner and drinks. I should go just to keep myself occupied, but I feel like I would be bad company. I jump on the engine next to Jack, who just looks at me and shakes his head as the engine rumbles down the streets of Cottage Grove. It takes a turn onto a familiar street, and I feel Jack perk up beside me. There haven't been any signs of smoke, so it's not a fire, but we are on Emily's street. I didn't get a chance to find out what the call was about, and I feel my heart thump hard in my chest. Hey, where are we headed, boss? I ask, and hear a tiny bit of concern in my voice. Old Lady Miller fell and needs assistance, and Bojangles is up a tree again. She fell trying to catch him as he went out the door. Normally, I would laugh out loud at this turn of events, but my adrenaline is still pumping at the thought that something had happened to Emily. Bojangles is going to be the death of us all, Jack chuckles. But I watch as his shoulders loosen as we pull up next to Emily's next-door neighbor's house. We pile out and I go to the tree, getting ready to coax Bojangles down for the millionth time this year. I have the cat. Emily helped Mrs. Miller into a chair. She looks okay, but it's probably good she gets checked out. I turn at the sound of the deep voice and see Adam standing there, holding Bojangles, who is purring for all he's worth. He lets out a yowl as he sees me and hisses. I want to hiss back at both of them, but it's not professional. You shouldn't be climbing trees. If Coach saw, he would have a fit. I lecture Adam because it's all I can do. I hate that he's looking all noble and hero-like in front of Emily. That's my job. I imagine myself punching him in the face, and I smile, feeling a tiny bit better.
He didn't. It was the strangest thing. As soon as Bojangles saw him, he leapt out of the tree and straight onto Adam.
At Emily's words, I turn and look at her. I feel my heart squeeze hard in my chest. She looks beautiful, all bundled up in her pom-pom hat and big coat. Her cheeks are rosy from the cold, and when she smiles at me, her eyes sparkle. She looked stunning last night all dressed up, but this is the real Emily, the happily ever after girl who runs the local bookshop. Hey there, happily ever after girl, I say to her and watch the blush spread across her cheeks.
Don't call me that,
she whisper yells as Adam comes to stand beside her, putting a hand on her elbow. It's not an over-the-top move, but I find myself wanting to break that hand touching her. Instead, I give them what I hope looks like a smile and not the look of someone thinking homicidal thoughts. What is this happily ever after girl thing he's talking about? Adam asks, looking from me to Emily and back again. She sighs.
It's an embarrassing nickname. I like to read romance novels, and they always have a happily ever after. So, Mason nicknamed me Happily Ever After Girl when we were kids.
Adam smirks at me, and it takes everything in me not to wipe that smirk off his face. At some point, I'm going to have to acknowledge that this is not how a friend acts when another goes on a date. Well, Emily, if everything goes right, maybe we can make that nickname a reality. He winks at her, and she laughs.
You found Mr. Bojangles!
Mrs. Miller comes out of the house, assisted by Jack.
It was weird, he just jumped out of the tree and into Adam's arms,
Emily says, coming over to hug the older woman. Watching her, I feel my heart melt and a small grin creep onto my face. She has the softest heart in the world and is always doing things for the older woman.
It's because he's Adam's biggest fan.
Mrs. Miller grins at Adam as she takes the cat from him. Mr. Bojangles watches football? I ask, and Mrs. Miller grins at me.
He sure does. You used to be his favorite, but then you kept coming to get him out of his favorite tree, and you weren't on the television anymore.
As if he understood her, Mr. Bojangles hisses at me, and I glare back at him.
He has moved on to this handsome young man.
Mrs. Miller reaches up and pats Adam's cheek. It is the same thing she does every time I come and rescue her cat from a tree, and then drink lemonade and listen to her stories. My face heats, and I feel my muscles go taut. The green-eyed monster has me firmly in its grasp. I'm jealous of an old lady patting someone's face. I think I need my head examined.
No, you two kids go and have a good time.
She waves them toward the car, and we all watch as they drive away. Are you okay, Mrs. Miller? I ask absently as I watch the car pull away from the curb.
Those two make such a cute couple. Too bad you wasted your chance, Mason.
She pats my cheek.
I'm fine. Just some bumps and bruises. You boys get back to the firehouse in case a real emergency happens.
She toddles back into her house and shuts the door. Jack looks over at me. Beers after shift. I nod as we go back to the engine. I feel like Lucy when Ricky Ricardo would say, "Lucy, you got some splaining to do." I take a sip of my beer and sit it down on the table, waiting for Jack to read me the riot act. He's staring at me as if he's trying to fit a puzzle piece into a place that doesn't quite fit. So, Emily, huh? He asks, raising an eyebrow. Don't listen to Mrs. Miller. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Jack sips his beer, then grins. I wouldn't say that. She's one of the biggest gossips in the entire town, and she knows everything and everyone. So do you have a thing for my sister? I look across the table at my oldest friend. This is not a friendship I'm willing to lose, but the thought of not being with Emily is eating me alive. Yes. I wait for Jack to yell at me, but it doesn't come, so I continue. She's beautiful, funny, intelligent, and everyone is drawn to her. What's not to like? Jack nods his head. How long? How long what? How long have you been in love with her? He asks, and I choke on my beer, my eyes watering. He comes over and pats me on the back, maybe a little too hard. My eyes wide, I respond. Jack, no one said anything about love. He sits back down across from me and shakes his head. Then you best stay away from her because you know that she is a forever after girl. And my sister. He sips his beer and looks at me a bit sternly. I sit back in my chair. I know that. Why do you think I've never acted on it? I cover my face with my hands. I need to staple my mouth shut. Wait, what? Now it's Jack's turn to widen his eyes. What does that mean, never acted on it? How long have you had feelings for her? I take a deep breath and get ready to jump off the proverbial ledge. I'm tired of harboring the secret, and if telling him means that he wants nothing to do with me, I'll deal with that. I've felt this way about her since high school. I tried to go off to college and football and forget all about her. I did everything I could to push any and all thoughts of her from my mind. Heck, I even dated women so far the opposite of Emily that they shouldn't even be in the same universe. I tried to stop thinking about her smile, the way she laughs, how kind she is. Okay, before you go any further, that's my sister, and I don't want to hear about all her other attributes that you've been admiring since we were kids. He shakes his head, then asks seriously, "Why didn't you ever do anything about it?" Seriously? She's your sister! How many times did you warn all of us guys away from her? That you would break bones and smash sensitive body parts if we so much as looked at her? Jack smirks. Glad to know my warning stuck. I didn't mean it. If you had real feelings for her, I would have been the first one to tell you to go for it. I just stare at him for a minute. Would you be okay if I dated your sister? Sure, Mason. You're one of the best guys I know. She couldn't do better than you. I sit back and sip my beer for a moment, digesting what he said. Naturally, if you broke her heart, I would chop you up into pieces and use you as chum for the sharks. I nod. Of course, that goes without saying. What are you going to do now? She is out and about with a perfect man. Do you think that she even feels this way about you? I think back to the multiple times we almost kissed, and how I felt with her so close to me. The way she leaned in like she wanted it too, in spite of her hesitation. Yes, I think she does, but I might have lost my chance. Chapter 11. Mason. I can't stand the tension between Emily and I. Usually when I'm around her, it's easy and comfortable. Conversation just flows. Tonight, it's awkward. I know it's my fault and it's driving me crazy. Yet, I'm not sure what to do about it or how to make it better. I mean, really, how does one handle the realization that you've been in love with someone your entire life who, until yesterday, you believed was completely off limits? It's not like I have to worry about how Jack feels now. He basically gave me permission to pursue his sister, and yet, I'm not sure what to do with that. Usually I'm confident and certain of myself around women. But if I'm honest, Emily isn't like any other woman that I've decided to pursue. That's the thing. This wouldn't be me asking Emily out on a date and wanting to get to know her better. This would be me acknowledging to everyone, including myself, that I want to spend the rest of my life with her. And that terrifies me. I'm not ready to go there yet. I don't think I told you how beautiful you look tonight, I say as we walk into the yacht club for the auction. The ride over was a quiet one, and I'm trying to get Emily to talk to me. She's been closed off, and it's not a version of her I'm used to, which makes it difficult for me to navigate.
Thank you, Mason.
Emily shyly glances in my direction with a small smile.
You look handsome yourself.
I feel my heart bang against my rib cage at her words, and then it immediately drops into my stomach as she looks away. I hold the door for her and we walk inside, feeling the loss of her warmth like a cloud that has hidden the sun on a cool spring day. She lightly touches my arm, not looking at me.
Hey, there's Adam. I'm going to go say hello.
She walks away without waiting for my response, and I just watch her. My stomach drops as she's touching his arm and smiling up at him. My body tenses as I feel jealousy consume me. Planning on using those fists of yours? Mike says with a chuckle, catching me off guard. I look down at my white knuckles and immediately shake out my fingers. Hey Mike, how's it going? I ask, not really interested in his response. Better than you, apparently. I glare at him and he laughs, raising both hands up as if surrendering. Sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. I say, just as Emily's laugh rings out. It vibrates through my entire being, and I feel a bit lost. I grind my teeth, angry at myself for being in this situation. Adam is a good guy, and Emily deserves to be happy. I give myself a mental shake and put my full focus on Mike. "Where's your lovely partner in crime?" I ask, wondering where Lily is. Mike gives me a teasing look as he answers, like he knows I'm trying to take my focus off Emily and Adam. "She's walking around and looking at the items up for auction. You know this is one of her favorite events." His voice softens as he thinks about his wife. "Apparently, the Camden Snow Bowl is auctioning off a very generous ski vacation that Lily's been eyeing. Cottage Grove's charm is rubbing off on her." "Nice," I say belatedly at his pointed look. Honestly, I didn't realize he had stopped talking. Not that I remember what he said, anyway. "When are you going to tell her?" My eyes widen in surprise and I look at Mike. "Tell who what?" "Don't even try to tell me that you're just friends. I know what a man who is just friends with a woman looks like, and you and Emily, my man, are not just friends." Mike's a smart guy, and honestly, I'm exhausted. So I give up the pretense and move toward the bar. "I'm pretty sure I messed everything up," I confess as we walk over to grab a drink. "Maybe I'm too late. Emily deserves to be happy." Mike scoffs. "Of course she deserves to be happy, and so do you. Have you noticed the way you two look at each other?" I instinctively look toward Emily and catch her eye before she quickly looks away. I take in a deep breath. "Like what? I'm sure she doesn't look at me as anything but her brother's best friend." Even as I say the words, I can't help but second-guess them. There have been moments between us where I've felt something from her. She's wanted to kiss me. I know it in my bones. We didn't, but the desire was there. She was as caught in the zing between us as I was. I look over at her with Adam again. The smile on her face is radiant, and I feel my heart drop. She looks so beautiful and happy. "Then you weren't paying attention to her face when she talked about your games, or when you brought up Julia." I nod in Mike's direction, acknowledging what he hit on. "I caught the expression when I mentioned Julia, but not the way Lily and I did. When you brought up Julia, the light that was shining in her eyes dimmed. Lily and I were talking about it later. The chemistry between the two of you was so obvious, and yet both of you seem completely oblivious to how the other feels." Mike is emphatically shaking his head at my supposed obliviousness. I turn to look at Emily just as she throws her head back and laughs. "Dude, I'm just not sure anymore." I mutter into my watered-down cocktail and rub my chest, trying to ease the tightness. It's like a vice around me. "Mason, you're not a quitter. You're a professional football player. A man who knows how hard it is to go after your dreams and make them a reality. The only reason you stopped playing was because of an injury to your kicking leg. You know you'd still be playing if that wasn't the case." What he says grabs my attention and makes me really think. He's right. That's who I am. Not the football player part, but the man who goes after his dreams, regardless of how high the odds stacked against him are. The feeling of losing Emily would be worse than any pressure I'd ever felt on the field. This isn't a season I'm trying to win, but the love of my life. How would I prepare for a win? Falling back on what I know best, I know I need to block out the noise and make my play. You're right, man. Thank you. I clasp Mike's shoulder, grateful for his friendship and the bond that we've formed as teammates. Looks like I have a game to plan for, one that will decide the rest of my life. I look at Emily again and feel a smile creep on my face. She glances at me, and I see a look of surprise cross her face, but she quickly looks away again. I continue to look at her, and feel the determination from the decision I've just made take hold. I'm in love with Emily, and I am not going to give her up that easily. I know what it takes to make the impossible possible. If I truly believed that Emily didn't have feelings for me, I would let her walk away and find someone she really did care for. I'm not selfish like that, especially where Em is concerned. But as I think back to all the years we've known each other, I'm getting a fresh perspective on every interaction we've ever shared. The way she would blush when I would tease her about being a happily ever after girl, or her laugh that was a little too high or nervous at certain times, how she would playfully hit me, or her subtle touches. Even the glances I caught but didn't think anything about. It's amazing to me that I didn't see the flirting that was happening. With this newfound knowledge, I vow to myself to do whatever is necessary to woo this happily ever after girl of mine, until we both have a happily ever after that people will compare to the best romance novel out there. I take a deep breath and finally feel the tension leave my body. Everything is going to be okay.
Chapter 12. Emily. Adam took me home tonight from the auction. He's a really great guy and I have fun with him. It feels good to have someone pay attention to me, who sees me as something other than just their best friend's little sister. Even though I like him and enjoy spending time with him, he's not Mason. On top of that, he lives in Colorado while he's playing for his team. Who knows where else his professional career will take him? There's no way I would ever consider leaving Cottage Grove. My business is here, yes, but so is my heart. I love my hometown and the people in it. I was disappointed and relieved when Mason didn't argue with me about having Adam take me home. I hate feeling so torn about this. I hate that my crush is back running rampant, and I really hate the thoughts that are running through my head about him and me together. It's only a fantasy. There is no happily ever after in the cards for Mason and I. Recently, things have been so strained between us that I'm not sure what to do to have it go back to normal. After the way he looked at me tonight, I'm not sure I want them to. Throughout the night, I caught his glances, and every time our eyes met, I felt it all the way to my toes. At one point, his look seemed somehow to convey determination, certainty, and a possessiveness that made my knees go weak. I'm not sure I've ever had anyone look at me like that before, but I know for a fact Mason never has. I could have sworn that a swarm of butterflies was trapped in my stomach, all trying to break free at once. Their wings fluttering in time to the erratic beat of my heart. Engulfed in a room full of people, I was surprised no one else could hear the pounding. But then everyone else seemed to fade away until it was just Mason and I. I broke eye contact immediately, gave myself a mental shake, and brought myself back to the conversation going on around me. From that point on, any time our eyes met, I firmly reminded myself that Mason is and will only ever be a friend who was only checking in because he was acting like an overprotective big brother. There is nothing behind any of the glances, smirks, smiles, glares, nothing. This is Mason. Yeah, we've had some moments where I thought there might be feelings on his side. A surprising amount of people are mentioning to me that maybe I'm wrong and there is something between us. Stop, Em. There's nothing there. You heard him say it. We are just friends. Time to get changed into my comfy clothes, get a hot cup of tea, and then snuggle in with my current read. An escape into the world of Emma and Lane would be wonderful. What can I say? I am a sucker for the brother's best friend trope. I wonder why. I'm pouring hot water into a mug for my lavender tea when I hear a knock on my door. My heart skips a beat as I find myself irrationally hoping that it's Mason. As I'm shaking my head at my wayward mind, I drag my slippered feet over to the door and open it. My jaw drops. It's Julia. Of course she looks amazing. I can't help but notice the stark contrast of me in my joggers and long-sleeve t-shirt and her in her brand-named clothes. Where she is elegant and perfect, I am flawed and frumpy. What was I ever thinking that I could compete with women like this? I am not even remotely close to anything of this type of glamour. What the heck is Julia doing on my doorstep? When did she get back into town? Why is she here? Did Mason invite her? Hello, I'm asking you a question? She's never once dropped that arrogant tone with me. Her voice brings me back to the present. I'm sorry, Julia, I didn't hear you. I asked who you are and why are you going with Mason to all of these events? I roll my eyes. Julia knows exactly who I am. She's met me multiple times. This is so her, and just one of the many reasons I've never liked her.
Julia? What are you doing here?
Mason asks as he's walking toward my front door. I look at his face, and I can see the shock on it. Mason! Julia squeals as she turns to him and throws her arms around his neck so forcefully that I see his body move from the weight of catching her. I've been looking for you. I need to talk with you.
You're at the wrong house. I live next door. What are you doing at Emily's?
Mason glances at me and those butterflies start to flutter. I can see the genuine confusion in his eyes, but try to keep my expression neutral. Any hope that was still lingering is slowly dying. This is the type of girl Mason should be with. What was I ever thinking that he could possibly be with me? I'm going to go inside and let the two of you talk. I try to make my voice sound calm and relaxed, when inside, all I want to do is scream. If you would kindly bring this to your front porch, Mason, I'd appreciate it. I can feel the tears burning at the back of my eyes. My heart is shattering into a million pieces. Worried that the two of them will see what's happening, I turn and start to close the door as I mumble, I will see you at brunch in a couple of days, Mason. You both have a good night. Before I can fully close the door, I hear Mason say my name.
Em?
I meet his eyes. There is a question in them, and what seems like a slew of unspoken words. A tiny flicker of hope comes to life in my chest, and then Julia interrupts, and Mason stops talking. Mason? Mason! She says his name forcefully to get his attention. I need to talk to you. We, she puts an emphasis on the word we, need to talk. Please? Though there is a question mark at the end of the sentence, there is no way that anyone listening could mistake the demand in her tone. Seriously, Mason, Julia is the worst type of woman. How could you ever have fallen for that? Men and beautiful women. Good night, I say as I close the door, leaving the perfect couple on my porch. I definitely don't want to be a witness to whatever conversation they are about to have. I numbly walk over to my tea and pick it up from the counter. I head to the couch, grab a blanket, and put it on my lap. Holding the cup between both hands, I feel a tear run down my face. I wipe it away and give myself a mental pep talk. It was silly to think that Mason would ever want you. Stop crying and shake this off. You've gotten over him before and you'll do it again. With that final thought, I take a sip of my tea and feel the warmth of it fill me. But somehow, I'm still cold. With a deep exhale, I put down my cup and pick up my book. If I can't have a real-life happily ever after, at least I know my book won't disappoint me. This time, though, I have a difficult time losing myself in the story as the image of Julia throwing herself in Mason's arms keeps playing in my mind on repeat. The words begin to blur as I can no longer stop the tears from falling.
Chapter 13. Mason. I stare at the door Emily just closed and peel Julia's arms from around my neck. I take a big step back, putting distance between us. What are you doing here, Julia? My tone is tired. I'm not in the mood for her. I came here to talk to Emily and clear the air.
I'm here to see you. I've missed you.
She looks at me in a way that a few years ago would have made me want to give her anything. But now I see through it. It has nothing to do with me, and everything to do with Julia wanting something. I stare at her with a blank face, not believing one word out of her mouth, but choosing not to say anything. I look back at Emily's door, before returning my gaze back to her face.
I know the way I ended things hurt you, and I'm sorry. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you, and I want another chance.
Her eyes are pleading with me to believe her.
What are you doing with her?
She tilts her head toward Emily's door. There's a dismissive tone in her voice, one that I now realize has always been there with anyone she felt was beneath her. I feel anger rise up at her talking about Emily like that. Emily, who you've met before, is my best friend's little sister. She's been doing me a favor by going to these events with me. Nothing else. The words fall flat, and I feel the untruth of them. Emily isn't just my best friend's sister, but after seeing her with Adam tonight, I'm honestly not sure if how I'm feeling makes any difference. All I know is Emily and I need to talk. Look, Julia, it's been a long night and I'm tired. I'm not up for talking about this with you tonight. I look at Emily's door again, hating that she saw me and Julia, wondering what she's thinking, how she's feeling. When I came to her house, Julia standing at her door was the furthest thing from my mind. We need to talk, but this isn't the time. Or the place. I feel Julia's fingers on my face, dragging my eyes back to hers, and I flinch at her touch. She drops her hand and gives me a questioning look, which she quickly covers with a fake smile that doesn't reach her eyes.
I understand, Mason,
she says in a saccharine, sweet voice. I can't believe I used to love when she talked to me like that. How did I not see how fake she is?
Maybe we can get together tomorrow and talk. Will you take me to dinner?
She asks in that same tone. Going to dinner with her is the absolute last thing I want to do. I want to fix things with Emily, but I need some time to think on how to approach how I feel with her. I know I can't go back to the way things were a few weeks ago, and I don't want to. Maybe going to dinner with Julia will be a good distraction. I can let her get whatever she wants off her chest, and then we can close this relationship for good. I'll be very clear, I don't want anything to do with her. That ship has sailed. I give Emily's door one more look before grabbing Julia's elbow and escorting her off Emily's porch. We can do dinner tomorrow, I say as we walk toward the sidewalk. I already feel myself dreading tomorrow night. I walk into Cuzzy's with Julia and immediately see Adam and Emily sitting at a table in the back. Adam sees me and waves. I wave back, just as Emily looks over to see who has caught Adam's eye. We make eye contact, and a smile automatically splits my face. Wow, she looks beautiful tonight. I nod my head in her direction. Her eyes light up, and her smile stretches across her face. I feel my body start to move in their direction, but then Julia grabs my arm and pulls me toward her. I see Emily's smile wobble, and the light in her eyes dim. Why did I think coming to dinner with Julia was a good idea again?
Mason!
Julia whines. A bit of annoyance tinges her voice. I feel my entire body tense up as I gently remove her hand from my arm. I think I see what might be embarrassment in her eyes, and her smile fades. She quickly recovers and puts on an overly bright smile.
Right this way.
The hostess starts to walk us in the direction of our table. I glance over my shoulder at Emily and Adam, but they are engaged in a conversation and seem lost in their own world. Adam suddenly throws his head back and laughs. I feel my heart beat against my ribcage, and I clench my fists. I take a deep breath and work to slow my breathing. Adam is a good guy, but he's not the one for Emily. I catch up to the hostess and Julia. Thank you. I smile at the hostess. Pulling out Julia's chair, I make sure she's the one facing Emily and Adam. That's a good thing, so I can focus on Julia and get this conversation over with.
Mason, honey, what is good at this place?
I clench my jaw at the pet name Honey dripping from her lips. I'm realizing just how much I don't like her using any endearments when it comes to me, especially when it's being used to cover up her distaste for my choice of dinner venue. Everything. There isn't anything on the menu I wouldn't recommend. I'm getting a cheeseburger and fries, I say, and have to work to hide a smile at the look on her face. I swear, she looks like I just told her we were eating at McDonald's instead of one of the best taverns in Cottage Grove. Was I really so blind not to see just how much she only cares about money and appearances? If I wasn't completely over her, I would be eating this up. I still can't believe how much I adored all of this before. We really didn't come out to eat though, right? I ask her without looking up from my menu. You wanted to talk to me about some things, right? I lift my eyes up to her face and catch her eyes widen and her mouth form an O before she catches herself and puts her fake smile back in place. Wow. There are so many sides to Julia that I hadn't seen before.
Of course, you're right, Mason.
She says in that saccharine tone again.
I want to talk about us getting back together. I made the biggest mistake walking away from you. I never should have left. You were the best thing to ever happen to me, and I am so very sorry. Do you think you can forgive me?
I keep my face neutral as I take in her words. If she said this to me 8 months ago, I would have taken her back in a heartbeat. There wouldn't have been any hesitation. I was completely blind to everything that Julia is and what she really wants. I wonder if she thinks me being at these events means that I'm rejoining a team. It has to be something like that. Julia isn't in love with me. She never was. She loved what I could give her, not me. I see it all very clearly now. Julia? Mason. Adam interrupts me and pats me on the shoulder. I look up to see him and Emily. Hey, Adam. Em. How are you? Did you have a good dinner? I look directly at Emily, hoping she can see this is the last place I want to be.
Hey, Mason. Julia.
Emily greets us with a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Is it just me, or is she looking anywhere but at me? Amazing, Adam responds with his normal, cheerful personality. I'm finding it extremely annoying. Emily wasn't exaggerating when she said this was a great bar and grill. 'Cause he's one of the best. Jack and I stop here all the time. Glad you enjoyed it. I meet Emily's eyes, but she quickly looks behind me. I look back at Adam. I wanted to ask you if it would be okay if I took Emily to the final fundraiser tomorrow. I know the two of you are supposed to be going together, but I'd really enjoy getting to spend a bit more time with her before I leave. I figured since this was just a friendly arrangement, you wouldn't mind. However, I wanted to double-check with you before assuming. My jaw clenches and my heart races. I imagine me hitting Adam in the face and then pounding my chest like a gorilla, claiming Emily as mine. I give myself a mental shake and force myself to calm down. If that's what Emily wants. I look at her with my heart in my eyes. Our gazes meet and my breath catches.
It is.
She responds quietly, before looking away. Then it's settled, I say, a little too loud and a bit overexcited. You'll take Emily tomorrow and I'll go with Julia. I regret the words as soon as they're out of my mouth. Apparently, jealousy makes me do and say some stupid things. Emily looks at me, and I swear I can see the hurt in her eyes. She looks toward Julia and gives her a fragile smile. Julia's grin is stretched from ear to ear, looking like the cat who caught the canary. Great, man! Thanks, Adam says excitedly, slapping me on my shoulder again. We'll see you tomorrow, then. Thanks again, and enjoy your dinner. He puts his hand on Emily's lower back and guides her to the front door. I watch as they walk out and continue to stare at it until the door fully closes before turning back to Julia. She's looking at her menu as if nothing just happened, but I don't miss the smirk on her face. I inwardly groan as I realize what I just agreed to, and how Julia probably thinks that this is me agreeing to get back together. I run a hand over my face. Great job, Mason! You just let the woman you love walk out with another man, and you agreed to take Julia to an event. You truly are an idiot. I will fix this tomorrow. Right now, I want a beer. Chapter 14. Mason. The event is a success. I'm happy for Coach, the team, and Cottage Grove. All of the boosters have loved the small-town charm, and the community has benefited from the exposure. The only thing that would make this event perfect is Emily on my arm instead of Julia. She looks beautiful today. I can't take my eyes off of her.
Mason?
I cringe at Julia calling my name as she grips my arm like I might run at any moment. Truth be told, I might. She's been trying my patience. I glance in her direction as acknowledgement.
I'm going to head to the ladies' room.
She goes to kiss my cheek and I pull my head back. Mason! I glance over to see Mike and Lily walking up to me as Julia leaves. What are you doing here with Julia? I roll my eyes and I nod my head in the direction of Emily and Adam. Adam asked if he could escort Emily last night when I was out to dinner with Julia, and I said some stupid stuff, so here I am.
You're not getting back together with her, are you?
Lily asks, in a tone that lets me know exactly what a bad idea she thinks that is. That is definitely not happening. I was going to tell her that last night at dinner when Adam and Emily showed up at my table. But when he asked if he could bring Emily, instead of saying no, I told him no problem, and that I would take Julia. I rub my face as Mike laughs at me.
So, I'm taking it you didn't talk to Emily the night of the auction?
Lily chastises me. I glance over at Mike, and he just shrugs. Dude, you know I can't keep anything a secret from her. I shake my head and chuckle. Lily is amazing, and I really don't care what she knows. This is just new for me, and I'm a bit embarrassed to be handling the entire situation like a teenager. I went to her house with every intention of telling her how I feel. When I was heading up to her front porch, Julia was standing there. She threw her arms around me and started telling me that she missed me, and Emily pretty much closed the door on us. Both Mike and Lily give me a look that leaves no doubt to what an idiot I'm being. Thankfully, they don't say anything.
Mike! Lily! How good to see you! Mason didn't tell me you'd be here.
Julia says in that overly sweet voice of hers.
Hi, Julia. So nice to see you. Do you want to walk a bit with me?
I give Lily a grateful look as she ushers Julia away. Your wife is magic, I say to Mike as Julia and Lily are out of earshot. She is, isn't she? He smiles and watches her walk away with adoring eyes. He then looks back at me with complete seriousness. What are you going to do about this mess of a situation you created? I glance at Emily and Adam just as she laughs at something he whispers into her ear. My jaw clenches. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've really made a mess of this. Mike laughs at me. That's putting it mildly. I glare at him, letting him know he's not any help. But it's not unfixable. You just have to permanently end things with one woman and declare your love to another. Nothing you haven't done before. He smacks his hand on my back as he laughs hysterically. Remind me not to go to you for any pep talks, I mumble, shaking my head. It will be fine as long as you handle it right, he says. Emily is in love with you too, Anyone who sees the two of you together knows it. This will work, he genuinely says. I take a deep breath and sigh. Thanks, man. Looks like now's your chance. He nods his head toward Emily. I turn to see her heading out to the patio. Go get her. Thanks, I say as I start walking in her direction. For the first time today, my heart feels light, and I'm ready to tell her how I feel. I can't stand seeing her with Adam anymore, and I want her by my side. Emily! I call to her as I step outside. What are you doing out here without a coat? It's freezing. I walk up to her and wrap my jacket around her shoulders. My hand brushes against her skin, and I feel the electricity shoot throughout my body. She's staring at me with those big blue eyes, and I feel myself getting lost in them. I want to kiss her so bad, but I become aware we aren't alone. I put a little bit of distance between us.
I just came out for some fresh air. It was a bit stuffy for me inside.
I put my hands on the railing and admire the blue of the sky while I try to think of what to say. My heart is racing and my thoughts are all over the place. I hate seeing you with Adam. Not exactly what I was going for. Let me rephrase that. I want you to be happy, but not with him.
That was rephrasing, Mason?
She asks incredulously.
Are you being serious right now? You're here with Julia, after she shows up on my porch, and the first thing you have to say to me is this?
God, she's beautiful. Even when she's annoyed with me. My heart is beating so hard, it's all I hear. I can't help but wonder if she can hear it too. She looks away from me, and I can start to feel the chill seep in. Whether from the cold or the fear of what I'm about to say, I can't tell. Why is this so hard? Come on, Mason. Let's go. This is your moment. Don't squander it. I'm sorry, Em. I don't know how she found out where you live. I was mortified when I was coming to your house and saw her there. I haven't talked to her since we broke up. I was probably more surprised to see her than you were. I see her take a deep breath, but she keeps staring ahead without looking over at me. I was actually on my way to talk to you that night. That gets her attention, and she turns, looking up at me with a question in her eyes.
You were?
I nod. So apparently I've been a bit oblivious to something that was seemingly obvious to everyone else. She's staring at me so intently I have to swallow past the lump lodged in my throat, making it hard to speak. I take a step closer and grab her hands and hold them in my own. You see, I'm in love with you. I hear her gasp, but I continue. I've been lying to myself about how I feel for years. You're Jack's younger sister, and he always made sure that all of his friends knew if they hit on you, he would kill us. So I stuffed down any feelings I had for you.
I'm still Jack's younger sister.
She laughs as she squeezes my hands. Yes, you are. I smile at her. But he gave me his blessing to pursue you, so I don't need to worry about him kicking my butt.
Oh, he did he?
She has this teasing glint in her eyes that holds me captive. And then I realize she never acknowledged what I just said to her. Did you hear me say that I love you? Her half-lidded gaze moves something in me. My heart pounds. My stomach flips.
Yes, Mason.
She chuckles.
But what about Julia?
It's over with Julia. I only went out to dinner with her to tell her that, but then I saw you and Adam together. She raises an eyebrow at me. I got jealous, I say sheepishly. She throws her head back and laughs.
You got jealous?
If I can make her laugh like that for the rest of my life, I will die a happy man. What's so funny?
Sorry, you'll forgive me if I'm having a bit of fun at your expense.
I try to scowl at her, but can't stop the smile that's trying to escape. She smiles at me so brightly that I swear I feel my heart expand and beat 1,000,000 miles a minute. This feeling is better than any adrenaline rush I've ever had when playing football. Winning the Super Bowl? Nothing on Emily's smile.
I love you too, Mason. I always have.
She pauses, and a frown mars her forehead. My heart stutters until she speaks.
Well, except maybe in 3rd grade when Stevie Davis and I got married. I did swear to love him forever. I guess it's safe to say his love was fickle, since he divorced me right after.
She gives me a side glance that makes me howl with laughter. I remember Stevie! I also remember thinking he was a bit foolish. If he let you go, then my assumptions were correct. This woman, I will never get tired of her. The smile she beams my way makes my breath catch.
What do we do now?
She murmurs. I stare into her blue eyes, and I can't stop the smile that takes over my face. What I want to do now is kiss you. I watch a blush creep up her face and lean in closer to her. Can I kiss you, Miss Emily Stewart?
In public, Mr. Sanderson?
She bats her eyelashes as she lets go of my hands and her fingers grip my biceps.
What will my parents think?
I wrap my arms around her waist and pull her into me. They'll think I'm in love with you, I whisper. I watch her eyes sparkle just before my lips touch hers. My entire body comes alive and the world seems to stand still as I kiss Emily. My Emily. I feel her slip her arms around my neck as my arms tighten around her, leaving no space between us, completely losing myself in the moment. In Emily. A bark of laughter snaps me back to the present. Wow, I say as I rest my forehead against hers. You've been holding out on me.
Mason!
She slaps my arm playfully. I feel her shiver. Are you cold? Duh, of course you are. It's freezing out here. Let's head back in. I smile and nod my head toward the main room. I have to talk to Julia, and I believe you need to talk to Adam. Plus, I'm freezing too. I reluctantly let her go and move to her side. As we leisurely stroll back to the doors, I put my hand on her lower back. It feels good to know that Emily is mine, and I want the whole world to know it.
Chapter 15. Emily. Am I dreaming? Ouch! Nope, not dreaming.
Did you just pinch yourself?
Mason whispers in my ear. His chuckles sends little shivers down my spine and my stomach flutters. No. I reply a bit too quickly. I hear him full out laugh at me.
You're not dreaming, happily ever after, girl.
He gently kisses my cheek, and I feel that simple touch all the way to the tips of my toes. I'm on cloud 9. Mason just told me he loves me and kissed me. And what a kiss! His hand on my lower back as he walks me back inside is both possessive and gentle. I remember I'm wearing his jacket and slip it off and hand it back to him. Here you go. I turn to him and can't stop the smile from spreading across my face. Mason, I've been looking for you. Where were you? I completely forgot about Julia. For a moment, the entire world disappeared and there was only Mason and I. Reality is now intruding. I feel my smile start to slip from my face, but feel Mason's whispered words put it right back in place.
We both have some people to let down gently. I'll call you later, okay?
Sounds good. I turn away from Mason and start to walk away. Hi, Julia. It was nice to see you again. The look on her face has me almost laughing out loud, but I decide to restrain myself and just keep smiling instead. Emily! Lily's voice grabs my attention. I look over to my left and see her and Mike walking toward me. When I meet up with them, Lily gives me a kiss on the cheek.
Did Mason man up?
Mike teases.
Ah! What did you do that for?
That was uncalled for and rude, Mike. She's not one of the boys. She uses her fingers to make air quotes when she says the word boys. Then she turns her full attention to me. Well, did he? She asks slyly.
Hey! So you can ask, but I can't?
A laugh escapes me. I already adore both of them, and know we're going to be lifelong friends." "Of course," his beautiful wife replies. "I'm a woman. We can ask those types of questions to each other." "You two are too much." I shake my head with a smile. And to answer your question, he did indeed. I follow Lily's example and do air quotes, "man up."
Yes!
Mike pumps his fist in the air.
I knew he could do it.
"Michael!" Lily slaps him on the shoulder, but can't stop herself from laughing. "We both knew from the moment we saw you with Mason that you were perfect for each other. I can't tell you how happy I am that you both snapped out of denial." I'm still in a bit of a shock, honestly. My cheeks are beginning to hurt as the smile won't leave my face.
Emily, there you are.
Adam exclaims.
Do you feel better after getting some fresh air? Mike, Lily.
He says, reaching out a hand to Mike and giving Lily a kiss on the cheek. He's really a great guy, just not the one for me. Yes, it was exactly what I needed. I smile at him.
Are you ready to eat?
Actually, yes, I'm starving. I respond. We head over to the lavish buffet with Mike and Lily, and then we grab an elaborately laid table to eat. We have an hour or so left of the event before we can leave. It will give me some time to mull over how to break it to Adam. Once I'm in the car with him, I'll try letting him down easy. Though something tells me he's really just been enjoying my company and not looking for anything serious. Which means letting him down easy will be, well, easy. I enjoyed my time with Mike, Lily, and Adam. Conversation flowed effortlessly, and they filled me in on the team pranks they used to rile each other with. I can't wait to tease Mason about some of the gems I've learned. I never realized how much like brothers teammates truly are. Apparently, targeting one another was a way of showing their acceptance and respect. Occasionally, I would find myself looking around the room for Mason while eating, and more than once I caught his gaze on me. Each time, he would wink at me, and I would feel heat creep up on my face. I swear he kept doing it for the sole purpose of making me blush, and if I'm honest, I loved every minute of it.
Are you ready to go?
Adam interrupts my thoughts, bringing me back to the present moment. Yeah, as much fun as I've had, this was all exhausting. I don't know how all of you do it. I glance at Lily, since I know the guys thrive on being in the limelight. If I've learned anything about football players during these events, it's that they're all extroverts. These types of events fuel them.
Oh, don't let her fool you.
Mike looks adoringly at Lily.
She loves it almost as much as I do.
Lily looks back at Mike with the same love in her eyes. Maybe just a bit. She holds her thumb an inch from her pointer finger. Let me grab my coat and I'll meet you back here, I say, still laughing at Mike and Lily. I'll join you, Lily says. I smile at her and we walk over to the cloakroom together in comfortable silence. We hand the attendant our numbers and wait as he retrieves our coats. I've had so much fun getting to know you, Emily, Lily says. I can't wait for the opportunity to get to know you even better. I have no doubt we'll be the best of friends. I agree. I give her a hug. I haven't forgotten about your book, and I'll be ready to help you when you publish it. I can't wait for your display in the front window of Books and Brew. Lily's eyes widen as she laughs at me. Oh, the pressure! I had hoped you had forgotten what Mike said about me writing a book. I would never, I exclaim. Books are my life, and I'm always looking for the next up-and-coming author. That man? Lily rolls her eyes as she looks towards Mike. I love him to death, but he needs to learn how to keep his mouth shut. Yeah, good luck with that. He doesn't seem... I stop mid-sentence as out of the corner of my eye, in a dark alcove near the exit, I see Julia with her arms draped around Mason, and their lips locked. And it's not a peck. My heart drops to the floor, and I feel the color drain from my face. Emily? Lily looks at me with concern lining her face. Are you okay? Oh. She lets out gently. as her eyes lock on what I'm seeing. "Here are your coats." I look back and see the attendant handing me 2 coats. "Thank you," I mutter as I quickly grab them and turn to go. I have to get out of here. I immediately turn and start to walk away. "Emily!" I hear Lily call after me, but I just keep moving toward Adam. As soon as I reach him, I shove his coat at him. "Can we please leave now?" I ask in a tone that brooks no room for questions. He raises his eyebrows at my behavior, but then concern etches his face.
Of course. Are you okay? Emily? What's wrong?
Mike asks worriedly. I shake my head at him and immediately start walking toward the exit. Lily will fill him in on the details. I hear Adam say goodbye to both Lily and Mike as he heads after me. He must have sprinted because he makes it to the door before I do, and before I can step out, he grabs my shoulder and closes the door.
Wait,
He says as I stare up at him, uncertain of why he's stopping my much-needed exit.
put your coat on. It's freezing out.
I nod my head. As he helps me put my coat on, the tears start falling from my eyes. I quickly wipe them away. Thankfully, Adam doesn't say anything as we get into his car. When he starts the engine, but doesn't start to drive away, I look at him, and he hands me a tissue. Who knew that big football players carry tissues in their pockets? "Thank you," I whisper, and then proceed to loudly blow my nose as he begins the drive to my house.
Well, that was the most unladylike sound I've heard today.
He says with amusement in his voice, and I can't help but giggle. "Sorry." I wipe the tears from my face again and take a few deep breaths as I attempt to calm myself.
Don't be sorry. That was nothing compared to what the guys do in the locker room.
That has me laughing out loud.
Do you want to talk about it?
I open my mouth to talk, but no words come out.
I know this is about Mason.
I turn to him with wide eyes and eyebrows raised to the sky, and it's his turn to laugh.
Do you think I didn't realize the two of you were in love with each other that first night we met? He was ready to rip my head off when I gave you just a bit of attention. I figured if he was going to be that clueless, I could torture him a bit.
How nice of you. I throw at him sarcastically, feeling rejected even though I was never really interested. Emotions are so weird.
Wait just 1 second.
He points a finger at me teasingly.
If I thought there was any chance that you would be interested in me, I would have been all for it. You're a beautiful, intelligent woman, and I've enjoyed every minute I've spent with you. But even I can tell from the way you look at him that you're in love with him too.
Well, from what I saw in there with Julia.
Julia has nothing on you. And I'm sure whatever you saw back there isn't what you think. But Mason will have to be the one to explain that to you.
As if Mason heard Adam talking, my phone rings. I look at my screen and see Mason's name. I decline the call.
Glad to see he didn't waste any time. There may be hope for him yet.
The phone rings again. I decline, and then turn my phone off.
Chapter 16. Mason. I pry Julia's arms from around my neck and push her away to put some distance between us. I want her to be as far away from me as possible so absolutely no one can mistake what is happening here. What are you doing? Julia, we're over. I'm angry. You left me, remember? I have no desire to get back together. You breaking up with me was the best thing that could have happened.
Mason, you don't really mean that.
A flash of anger shows in Julia's eyes before it vanishes, and her face crumbles to one of devastation. The way this woman moves from emotion to emotion is truly impressive. The fact that I was completely blind to all sides of her is still a bit surprising to me. I consider myself to be a good judge of character, but where Julia's concerned, I was way off. But it makes sense. I wanted anyone but Emily to be the person I loved. and I was able to fool myself for years. Julia is the complete opposite of Emily in every way imaginable. Of course she would be the one I would settle for. I do. I'm only sorry it took me so long to see it. Julia no longer tries to hide her rage, and I can't help but notice how it contorts her face to an ugliness I didn't think possible on someone I once thought so beautiful.
It's that girl, isn't it?
She spits at me.
I knew it. I knew you were never just friends.
When we were dating, there was no one else but you. If you hadn't ended things, I would have happily married you. I cringe as I realize how true those words are. I would have married her and soon found myself miserable for the rest of my life. As devastated as I was when you left me, I need to thank you for breaking up with me. I can't tell you how grateful I am to you for deciding that I wasn't enough.
Mason, I was only ever settling for you.
She snarls at me. A little laugh escapes me at her words, and I don't even try to keep it in. Suddenly, I'm laughing hysterically, and I can't stop myself. People are starting to look, so I take a deep breath and get myself under control. She was settling? Oh, if only she knew. Goodbye, Julia. I'm sure you'll have no problem finding a way back to your hotel. I leave her staring at my back as I walk away with a smile on my face. I feel free. Free to fully let go of my past, and free to move forward with Emily. I'm giddy. Until I see Mike and Lily. The concern on their faces has me worried. What's wrong? Is everything okay? I ask through a dry mouth. I find myself looking around the room for Emily. I don't see her. Is it possible that she saw Julia kissing me? My stomach churns.
We saw you and Julia.
Lily confirms my fear.
Emily grabbed Adam and left so quickly I didn't have a chance to explain that it probably wasn't what it looked like.
The confidence she has in me would warm my heart under normal circumstances, but that isn't right now. My heart starts to race, and I wipe my hands on my pants. I just got her. I can't lose her over something that was a misunderstanding. I run a hand through my hair and grab at the back of my neck. I squeeze and take a deep breath. It's my fault, I mumble. If I had just told Julia that things were over last night instead of letting my pride get the best of me, I wouldn't be in this situation. I have no one to blame but myself. I drop my hand from my neck and grab my phone from my pocket. I'll give her a call now and explain. I turn and head out onto the patio. A little over an hour ago, I was out here with Emily in a complete state of bliss. Now I'm worried to death that she won't believe me. Sure, I'm probably being dramatic, but I've never been afraid of losing something more in my entire life. I may have just said out loud that I'm in love with her, but the truth is I've been in love with her my entire life. I never let myself believe being with her was a possibility. Now, being so close to making us a reality, I can't imagine what it would be like to lose her. As I hit the call button, I notice my hand shaking. There is one ring before my call goes to voicemail. I immediately call again. Same thing. I'm not giving up that easily, so I call again. I anxiously wait for the beep. Emily, it's me. I need to explain what happened with Julia. It's not what it looked like, I swear. She kissed me. I don't want to be with her. I want to be with you. Please, please, please call me back. I wait a few seconds before hanging up, as if that will magically make her respond to me then and there. I stare at the phone, take a deep sigh, and put it in my pocket. As I head in, I pass Lily and Mike with a shake of my head to let them know I didn't talk to her. I keep walking and head over to get my coat from the cloakroom. I hand my ticket to the attendant and wait. From where I'm standing, I can see exactly what Emily's view was of me and Julia, and it doesn't look good at all. When everything happened, my back was to her, which means she only saw Julia's expressions, not mine. From this vantage point, one might think that I was a willing participant in that kiss. I rub my face and shake my head. A vice grips my chest. Don't worry, man. Mike grabs my shoulder from behind me and gives it a squeeze. You'll make it right. Everything will be fine,
Just make sure to grovel.
Lily adds, trying to lighten the mood.
Like, a lot. Grovel like you've never groveled before, Mason. I know you can do it.
The sound that comes out of my mouth is barely a laugh. I appreciate them trying to help, and I'm truly grateful for their friendship. But right now, all I can think of is how hurt Emily must be. I need to find her and explain. Mason! Mike! I cringe as I hear Coach's voice. I need to get out of here now. Are you heading out already, Mason? Before you do, could you take a few minutes to chat and take some pictures with one of the boosters' kids? They are huge fans of yours. He slaps my shoulder and I try to smile. Of course, I have a few minutes. Sure. Not a problem at all. I remember Jack calling me a pushover when it comes to Coach. He's absolutely right. Thank you, Mason. You've been a great sport about the entire event this year, and I want you to know how much I appreciate you helping us out, especially since it's not your job anymore. He pats my back. Everyone loved the venue and Cottage Grove. This was a fantastic idea. Speaking of ideas, where's Emily? I wanted to say thank you. She left early. She needed to get to her store. I hope my voice sounds normal and not a reflection of the anxiety I'm feeling. I will definitely tell her you said that. I know she'll be beyond happy. I quickly change the topic. Now, where are those kids? As we get closer, I push thoughts of Emily aside and do my best to make my fans feel like the most important people in the world. I put on my game face, paste on a smile, and amp it up for the kids. Normally, I would thrive in these sorts of situations. Kids are the best. As soon as I finish, I make my exit as gracefully as possible and head to Emily's.
Chapter 17. Emily. As we pull up to my house, the sun is just starting to lower on the horizon. I look over at Adam. Thank you, Adam. I had a really great time with you these last few days. It's been fun getting to know you.
Thank you, Emily.
He gives me a gentle smile.
Try not to be too hard on him, okay? It has to be hard realizing that you're in love with someone you didn't think you were in love with.
I give him a half-hearted smile. I hear what he's saying, but it's hard to think clearly with all of these emotions running through me. Goodbye, Adam. Get home safe. I exit the car and close the door behind me. I walk up the stairs to the porch and slide my key in the lock. As I open the front door, I turn to Adam and wave. I watch him drive off and then step into the house. When I close the door behind me, I realize that letting him down was easier than I thought it would be. The tears roll down my face as I'm not sure it matters anymore. I give myself a firm shake and wipe the tears from my face. No crying, Emily. Take a deep breath and breathe. You will get through this. I feel like I've been crying nonstop and I'm a bit tired of it. Yeah, this hurts more than anything I can remember in the past, but crying is not the solution. Heroines don't cry all the time in romance novels. They suck it up and then take action. This isn't a romance, I whisper to an empty room as the tears rise up again. No! Stop! There's no crying in baseball. I laugh at myself and shake my head. I put my coat over a chair and then freeze. Now that I'm home, I realize how close Mason is and I feel my heart stutter. He's my next-door neighbor. He'll be here any minute and I won't be able to hide from him. He won't let me. I'm not ready to talk to him. I need some time. Time to think. Time to figure out what to do and how to handle this. I quickly head upstairs to change. Minutes later, I come back down in blue jeans and a sweater with my overnight bag. I put my coat and boots on and grab my keys. I know exactly where I'm going. I just told Leah everything that happened, from the I love yous to the kiss and then seeing Mason kissing Julia. Are you okay holding down the fort for a few days while I clear my head at the lake house? Of course I am. Take all the time that you need. But, Em... She pauses, and I know she's gonna say something I don't want to hear. Mason may be the person I love to argue with most, but he's not a liar. I roll my eyes. I want my best friend to be indignant at how hurt I am and indignant at Mason's behavior. Instead, she's taking his side. Even though I know she's right, Mason's always been someone to tell the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. I'm so upset that my emotions are getting in the way of logical thinking. Plus, you haven't even listened to the message he left you. What if he told you exactly what happened and here you are running away? No, I say stubbornly. I know what I saw, and he was definitely kissing her. I'm not saying there wasn't a kiss. I'm just saying maybe it's not the kiss. I'm tired, Leah. I cut her off before she finishes her thought. I'm tired of feeling like I always need to move on and get over him. Please, just let me do that. I need to move on for real this time. I let out a sigh. It's been a really long week, and I need some alone time to recoup. You know I'm not good in huge crowds for extended periods of time. Okay, I hear you. She pauses, knowing that pushing me right now isn't the best course of action, so she diverts. What did you say to Adam? I didn't have to say anything. He had it all figured out, and he only asked me to help him. I stop talking as Adam's words play over in my head.
Do you think I didn't realize the two of you were in love with each other that first night we met? He was ready to rip my head off when I gave you just a bit of attention. I figured if he was going to be that clueless, I could torture him a bit.
Emily, Leah yells. What did Adam say? Sorry, he was great, which is true. And he said that my reasons for not continuing to see him made perfect sense, especially knowing how much I love Cottage Grove. So that's what he said, huh? Yes. I stubbornly keep to what I just said, knowing she doesn't believe that's the full story at all. Leah knows me too well. I stick my tongue out at the phone, not caring that she can't see me. I know it's childish, but at the moment, my emotional bandwidth is that of a 5-year-old. I'm done adulting for the moment. Don't you stick your tongue out at me! My eyes widen and I stare at the phone as she lets out a laugh. Of course I can't see you, but you do that to Jack all the time when you're annoyed with him. Sometimes, I really hate that you know me so well. No, you don't, she says gently. No, I don't. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Call me when you make it to the lake house so that I know you get there safe. I feel warmth run through my chest knowing that I'm loved so much by this woman I get to call my best friend. Yes, Mom. I hear her chuckle. And, Em, she says quietly, you're going to be okay. Thanks, Leah. I'll call you when I get to the lake house. I hang up the phone and drive in silence for a bit, taking in everything that's happened in the last few hours and the roller coaster ride that it's been. The dream that I've had since I was 13, when I first realized that my older brother's best friend was the boy I adored, happened. Mason told me he loved me, almost immediately after my biggest fear came true and he picked someone else over me. I have so many voices in my head. All of them tell me the same thing, that Mason is in love with me, which Mason confirmed, and yet I know what I saw. My heart hurts so much I can't rationalize anything. I can only feel pain, tightness in my chest, the lump in my throat, and tears sitting at the back of my eyes, threatening to push forward, are ruling everything. It's why I need time to be alone. I can't function like this. Suddenly, Jack pops into my head. I know that if he stops by the store or my house and I'm not home, he'll worry. I pick up the phone to call him and see Mason's name on my screen. Once again, I hit the decline button. Mason, please, just give me some space. I beg him, even though he can't hear me. I quickly call Jack. I know he's working a shift at the station, so it's no surprise when I get voicemail. Hey Jack, it's me. I just wanted to let you know that I'm alive and headed up to the lake house for a few days. Do me a favor and don't tell Mason where I am, okay? I appreciate it. And don't call asking any questions. I'm not ready to talk yet. I just need some time to clear my head and think. I'll see you when I get home. I hang up and turn off my phone, but not before I see Mason has called repeatedly and left 5 voicemails.
Chapter 18. Mason. Emily isn't taking my calls, and I'm pretty sure she hadn't listened to any of the messages I left. If she had, she'd pick up, right? She can avoid me all she wants when it comes to the phone, but being her next-door neighbor has its perks. I will just sit on her porch until she takes pity on me. As I pull up to her house, I don't see her car in the driveway. My heart stutters and I feel nauseous. I'm not used to Emily avoiding me. Actually, that's not true. She has avoided me in the past. Anytime we started to get close and my feelings came more to the surface, she would pull away. I hated it, but it was exactly what was needed to keep us in the friend zone. If I'm honest, I did the same. When she pulled away, though, she was never gone, just not as accessible. I didn't think much of it at the time because she's always at least communicated in some way. This time, with her leaving, she is shutting me out completely. The difference between then Mason and now Mason is that there are no obstacles standing in my way. Not Jack, not my fears, not my immaturity, nothing. I'm not good at waiting on anything to happen to me. It's a big reason why I was able to become a professional football player and able to rehab my knee so quickly. That not waiting personality trait is a great thing when you're in control. Now, when it's out of my hands, it feels like a debilitating flaw. I'm still in my suit, pacing around the house, waiting. I just called Emily, again, and left another voicemail. I run my hand through my hair as I try to figure out what to do next. Maybe I should just give her some space. It's only been a few hours. And let her think that what she saw with Julia is what she thinks it is? Yeah, no, Mason. That's a bad idea. Okay, I say out loud. So what do I do? Go to Books and Brew. I cringe at the thought. I know Leah is working, and she'll definitely know where Emily is. But whether she tells me or not is another story. Leah and I have a love-hate relationship. Don't get me wrong, we like each other, but we love to argue, to the chagrin of all our friends. She's also fiercely loyal to Emily. Thinking back to all the times Leah would get mad at me makes perfect sense now. She knew Emily had feelings for me. I hit my head with my palm and groan at how blind I was. I grab my keys and head over to Books and Brew. I see Leah before I open the door, and the smirk on her face makes me want to wring someone's neck.
Well, don't you look fancy?
She teases.
I was wondering when you were going to show up. You're a few hours late.
I'm surprised you're talking to me, I say sheepishly.
Have you looked in the mirror, Mason? You look worse than you did when you came home after your NFL career ended. And you looked bad.
Gee, thanks, I think. When I get to the counter, I drop my head and rub the back of my neck. She won't answer my calls.
And she doesn't have any intention to at the moment.
My eyes widen and snap to hers. This might be worse than I initially thought. Then Leah finishes with,
She will, eventually.
You know I'm not good at waiting.
I do, and right now, I don't think you should.
This time I narrow my eyes at her.
Don't act dumb, Mason. You know what you need to do. The question is, do you want her enough to face her stubborn streak head on?
Where did she go?
She'd kill me if I told you outright, so I'm not going to.
I study her for a moment, racking my brain for where Em would go to seclude her stubborn self. A moment later, I slap the counter. I've got it. Thanks, Leah.
Are you sure you know where you're going?
She laughs. The lake house! I yell as I head out the door. By the time I arrive at the lake house, it's dark. There are a few lights on in the house, so I know Emily is here and up. I sit, frozen in the car as nerves overtake me. Despite cranking up the heat to full blast, I have a chill in my bones that won't leave. Okay, Mason, let's go. It's time to win the biggest game of your life. I know this situation is not a game, but I always default back to the way I would pump myself up when I was playing. Getting in the right state of mind is crucial, and I know that this moment, right here, is more important than any I've ever had on the field. I take a deep breath and get out of the car, my feet crunching over the cold gravel. My heart is pounding as I walk up to the door. With the effort it takes to knock, I swear there's a boulder attached to my wrist, not a hand. If this situation didn't feel so dire, I would make fun of myself. But it does, so I don't. Taking more effort than I care to admit, I finally knock. The chill outside hits my already cold body, and I realize for the first time that I'm still only wearing my suit jacket. I hear the knob turn, and a sliver of light hits me as the door opens. Emily stands in front of me, with red-rimmed eyes filled with surprise and another emotion I can't pinpoint. My heart aches to see her hurting like this. May I come in? My voice is soft and gentle. It's the same voice I used the first few times I helped Mr. Bojangles out of a tree. That's before I realized he was the spawn of Satan. Emily steps back and opens the door for me. I've been to the lake house many times before with the Stewart family. It's a cozy cabin tucked in the woods on the Maguntacook Lake and one of my favorite places in the world. Not because of the location, but because of the memories. I move toward the wood-burning stove, hoping to get some warmth into my body. I stick my hands closer to the flames. I feel the heat, but it doesn't penetrate my body and I shiver. I turn to Emily, who hasn't moved away from the front door, and is staring at me with a pained expression on her face. I hate that I was the one who caused her that pain. Emily. I take a step toward her, and she puts her hand out to stop me from coming closer. My heart drops, but I stop. I'm so sorry that you saw Julia.
Mason, stop. I don't want to talk about it right now. I can't.
She puts her hand over her mouth to stop a sob as tears spill over her eyes. My heart shatters into a million pieces, and I feel tears prick at the back of my eyes. I've never seen her like this before, and to know that I was the one who caused it decimates me. Did you listen to my voicemails? My voice is strained as I try to talk over the lump lodged in my throat. She gives me a tiny shake of her head. Julia kissed me before I knew what was happening. As soon as she did, I stopped her and told her that we were never going to happen. I swear. I don't want her. I have always been in love with you, always. I was just too blind, or stupid, or maybe both to see the truth. Please don't push me away, Emily. Please. I need you. I didn't realize until this very moment how much Emily means to me, and how losing her would affect me. I never let myself go here because I didn't think being with her was possible. The moment I gave myself permission to fully feel the love I have for her was just scratching the surface. My emotions run so deep that they are a part of my entire being. She has always been my touchstone, the person I could talk to about anything without fear of judgment. I am realizing now that if she doesn't forgive me, I will never be the Mason I was before. There will always be me before Emily, and me after Emily. This thought shakes me to the core. Emily still hasn't said a word, but her body is racked with sobs. I move toward her and put my arms around her. There's a moment where I think she'll pull away, but instead she fists my shirt and sobs into my chest, allowing herself to lean into me. My arms wrap around her, pulling her close and holding her tight. I kiss the top of her head and mumble words of comfort. I rest my face on the crown of her head, hating that I am the one to cause her this much pain. When I feel wetness on my face, I realize I'm crying too. Emily, I love you so much. I swear what you saw was Julia kissing me. I pushed her away as soon as it happened. Her only response is a headshake that I feel against my chest. I don't know how long we stand like this before I feel Emily take a deep breath and push away from me. I don't drop my arms from around her, but I give her space. She looks up at me with those big blue eyes of hers, and I see doubt. Then her expression turns hard. My stomach flips, and I realize there might not be anything I can say or do to get her to understand. Her next words send a chill through my bones.
Mason,
She starts as she's shaking her head.
I can't do this. I'm not the one for you. It's just better to let things go back to the way they were and be friends. We will never work as anything else.
That's not true. Emily, please listen. She puts her hand to my lips to stop what I was going to say.
Mason, please. This is for the best. It would never work for us. You know that. Please go and let me have this time.
Her eyes beseech me. Every particle in my body rebels, and yet the firmness of her expression lets me know there is no getting through to her right now. Okay, I whisper, if that's what you really want. She nods, but doesn't meet my eyes. I turn to head back to the door, but my feet are like lead and won't move. I'm frozen. I know that walking out of the lake house will change the rest of my life completely, and I don't want to go. I want to convince her of my feelings, make her believe that I would die before I hurt her like this ever again, that I want to spend the rest of my days waking up next to her and falling asleep with her beside me. Yet I can't make myself turn around. I try walking to the door again, and this time my feet move. I put my hand on the doorknob and start to turn it, then stop. I don't turn to look at her, but I can't leave things without saying this. I know I hurt you. Not just today, but over the years. I'm sorry for all of it, especially for the times I didn't know I was hurting you. But I want you to know that I was hurting too. The last thing I ever wanted to do, Emily Stewart, was break your heart. I hear a slight gasp, but I continue. What you don't know, and I need you to, is that every time I pulled away from you, my heart broke too. I open the door and stand there with it wide open, not even feeling the cold from the air outside. I'm too numb. You've always been my heart, Emily. I step into the night and close the door on the only woman I've ever really loved. For the first time in my entire life, I know what heartbreak feels like. I didn't experience it when Julia left me. I didn't experience it when my career ended. But I am a broken man as I drive away from the lake house. I have no clue how I will ever recover from this. Chapter 19. Mason. The pounding in my head won't stop. Mason! Why is Jack in my dream? More pounding ensues. Mason, come on, man, open the door. Go away! I'm not leaving, so get up and open the door. I snarl, but get up. Anything to stop the pounding. I open the door and put my hand up. Who turned the sun up? It's been over a week since Emily rejected me, and I haven't left the house since I dragged myself back from the lake house. I've never felt this empty before, and I'm a complete and utter mess. That being said, the look on Jack's face terrifies me a bit. That's enough, Mason. This pity party is officially over. Have you looked at yourself in a mirror? He asks as he pushes his way past me into my house. He abruptly stops and gives me a look of pure disgust. You look like Tom Hanks in Castaway and you smell like a dumpster. Go take a shower, now! I just stand there. Then I make my way over to the couch and lay back down. I watch Jack go from window to window as he pulls up the blinds and opens each one. I throw my arms over my eyes and growl. What are you doing? It's freezing out! Dude, your house needs an airing out and you need a shower. I can see him holding his breath until he gets to the next window. Then he inhales a frigid breath and holds it again till he gets to the next. When he finally walks over to me, he gives me a look I know means business, and a tone that is not one for arguing with. Mason, either you get up, get in the shower, and shave willingly, or I'm going to call the entirety of the fire department to come over and make you. What's it going to be? The sternness is lost a bit because he's holding his nose. And under other circumstances, I'd laugh at him for being ridiculous. But the fact that I need to even think about what he's saying snaps something inside of me. I knew I was in bad shape, but this visit is a wake-up call. I drag myself up off the couch and I walk what feels like a mile to the bathroom. When I pass the mirror, I don't even recognize the reflection. I pause and stop to look at the man staring back at me. My eyes are red-rimmed. There is at least an inch of growth on my face, and my hair is shooting up in all different directions. I look exactly how I feel. Terrible. I don't hear the water running. Jack's voice snaps me out of my trance. You're bossy, I whisper, afraid of what he'll do if I say it too loudly. I just need a few minutes. Not when you look and smell the way you do. Chop chop. He claps and I jump. I snarl at him and then slam the door in his face. I hear him laugh from the other side, and I roll my eyes. I turn the water on and wait for it to warm up. When the hot water hits my face, I feel something for the first time in a week. When I've done the bare minimum but am technically showered, I head into my room and put on some joggers and a t-shirt from a pile. I catch the scent of eggs wafting from the kitchen, and my stomach roars. Dude, I know you haven't showered in at least a week, but when was the last time you ate? I shrug. I honestly have no clue. I take a seat at the table and rest my head on my hands. How are you still alive? He asks. I'm not sure I am. Trust me you are, though you definitely smelled like you were dying. He looks at me with a teasing glint in his eye. Well, aren't you just the comedian today? I snipe as he slides a dish of scrambled eggs and a cup of black coffee in front of me. One thing that can be said about firemen is that they take their cooking seriously. Jack is amazing when it comes to breakfast, and these eggs are heaven. You had me worried. I thought for sure you'd be back to the station by now. I can feel Jack's gaze on my face as I shovel the food in my mouth. I'm beyond starving. You know M is a mess too. I freeze, my hand halfway to my mouth, and look at him. She is? Yeah. Leah had to do her own intervention. She went to Emily's house yesterday. I shove another forkful of eggs in my mouth and take a sip of coffee. Jack, what am I going to do? I messed everything up. First off, you hurt her but you apologized, and you told her what happened. You didn't do anything wrong. Well, except take Julia to the brunch. That was just plain stupid. I slap my hand on my forehead when I think about how dumb that was. Second, you know how stubborn my sister can be. She's just scared. I always knew she cared about you, I just didn't know you felt the same. Now we're gonna fix it. She made it very clear that she didn't want to fix it. I sigh, feeling the heaviness overtake me again. A reminder of why I've been holed up in my home, on the couch, in the dark, for the last week. Like I said, she's stubborn and scared. A very bad combination for my hopelessly romantic sister. He shakes his head, and then whispers, But Leah and I have a plan. I look around to see if someone else came into the house while I was in the shower, and then turn back to him. Why are you whispering? Sorry. Leah and I have been planning at the store and having to whisper so Emily doesn't hear. Planning? I look at him like he's lost his marbles. Yes, planning. You and Emily are two of the most stubborn people I've ever met. Emily won't listen to anyone, and you! He throws his hands up at me. You're over here living in a cave smelling like you haven't showered in a year. I've had enough. I can't live a happy life while the two people I love the most, who just happen to be in love with each other, are miserable. My eyes are about to pop out of my head, and my mouth drops to the floor. I snap my mouth closed. Who are you, and what have you done to my best friend? I'm not kidding, Mason. He points a finger at me. You're going to fix this, and you're going to fix it today. I put my hands up as if in surrender, and I salute him. Yes, sir, oh captain, my captain. He glares at me, and amazingly a chuckle escapes my lips. Tell me about this plan that you and Leah have cooked up. You know my sister and her obsession with romance novels. Well, we've come up with the absolute perfect grand gesture for you. If that doesn't work, then we're going to kidnap the both of you and shove you together until she comes to her senses. I stare at him and laugh. I don't mind the idea of being trapped with Emily, but I'm pretty sure she'll have a thing or two to say about it, and I doubt they'll be very ladylike. Okay, so let's hear about this grand gesture. Jack starts to explain to me what he and Leah have come up with, and I can't help but be impressed. If it doesn't work, then I look forward to being trapped with Emily for however long is necessary. It's a sacrifice I am more than willing to make. Apparently, Jack and Leah have already stocked the lake house with a month's worth of supplies. I pray it doesn't take that long, but with Emily, you never know.
Chapter 20. Emily. Leah was right. Getting out of the house is exactly what I needed. I'm not working today, but I'm sitting at one of the tables near the window with a warm cup of tea between my hands. The smells of fresh pastry and the chatter of customers shopping for books is a healing balm to my soul. Books and Brew is my way of creating a place where people can discover far-off lands, fall in love, or solve a mystery. I feel the love and joy that is alive in this place. Mrs. Robertson stopped in for her monthly book restocking. She didn't bring up Mason. No one has. Sometimes, living in a small town that thrives on gossip is a blessing. The town can't stop humming about the past weekend, though. Everyone benefited from Mason's old team doing their fundraiser events in town. I smiled just thinking about how it positively affected all the businesses. The smile changes as Mason once again pops into my mind. He's never far from my thoughts. Being at the lake house gave me some time to think about everything that happened, and more importantly, what everyone said to me. By everyone, I mean Leah, Jack, Adam, Lily, and Mike. Not to mention any townspeople who decided to talk a bit too loudly while having conversations about Mason and I. I know now that it was my own insecurities and fear that made me react the way I did when I saw Mason and Julia. According to the Cottage Grove's rumor mills, there were bets on how long it would take for the two of us to realize how we both felt. My smile widens, and my heart lifts in knowing that even if I can't trust my perceptions, I have always been able to trust the townspeople of Cottage Grove. They're like my own little magic 8-ball. If I asked the question, is Mason Sanderson in love with Emily Stewart? I would get the response of, without a doubt. I chuckle. I will talk to Mason. I just need to get ready to grovel a bit. My heart aches when I think about how I sent him away from the lake house. I was so stuck in my feelings and fears that I couldn't hear him out. I feel like the biggest fool, and I'm so embarrassed. Once I can get my pride out of the way, I'll talk to him. Mr. Bojangles must have gotten into a tree again. Thank goodness for that cat, otherwise the fire department would have a lot less to do. The sound gets louder as the truck gets closer, which is strange because I didn't hear anyone talking about something going on Main Street. Suddenly, the fire truck pulls up in front of the store, and I see the guys flying off the truck and running into the store. Oh my goodness, is there a fire in the kitchen? Leah! I yell in a panic, but when I catch her face, I see a smirk, and I feel my breath catch just as my heart starts to try and hammer its way out of my chest. She's looking at the door behind me. I turn around to see Mason, standing in his full bunker gear, filling the doorway. He's there holding a bouquet of dark pink tulips and a determined but nervous look on his face. I feel my face split into a smile, and I hear the crowd around me, "Aww," as they watch the interaction. I'm going to say that Mason and I are the only two in all of Cottage Grove who didn't know what was going to go down at Books and Brew today. Mason responds to my smile with one of his own as we both slowly start to walk toward each other.
Emily, I'm so sorry.
Stop. I cut him off as I throw myself into his arms and kiss him. He catches me and pulls me tightly to him and kisses me back. My entire body is suddenly vibrating, and every nerve ending is fully alive. In this moment, it's only Mason and me. The sounds from the room break through my love-dazed haze, and I hear cheering and clapping in the background. I can't stop the laughter from bubbling up. The smile breaks free, and I pull my head back to look directly in Mason's chocolate brown eyes. I'm so sorry for how I treated you. I know I was being a complete idiot, but I couldn't stop myself. I love you so much, Mason. I always have.
Yeah, you do.
He says with a teasing glint that melts my insides. Then his look turns serious, and he whispers,
You never have to worry about me walking away from you. When I left Cottage Grove for college, I had every intention of leaving you behind with it. But I couldn't. There is no other person for me. I love you, Emily. Will you be mine?
My knees go weak, and I feel tears slip from my eyes. This time, not tears of sadness, but joy. Mason gently wipes the tears from my face and kisses my cheek. I never thought you'd ask, I whisper, as his lips capture mine in a kiss that has the entire town hooting and hollering. Next thing I know, Mason scoops me up and is carrying me to the fire truck, my own hero rescuing his damsel in distress. I smile at this man who so obviously gets me.
Shall we ride into the sunset, happily ever after, girl?
My reply is to kiss him soundly. I hear a yes from both Jack and Leah as they do what sounds like a high five. Epilogue Emily, 5 years later. Mason, I yell, can you grab Jack? He looks like he's going to run under the table again. I hold our 3-year-old daughter Leah in my arms as her twin brother runs around screaming. Though she looks like an angel, she's just as bad as he is, unless there are people around. If there are people around, she's angelic.
I got you!
I hear Mason yell as he picks up Jack and swings him over his head. Jack laughs outrageously, and everyone looks over at both of them smiling, myself included. I adore my boys. It's been 5 years since Mason and I attended the last gala, and so much has changed. Mason and I got married the following September and had a beautiful fall wedding. He looked so handsome in his uniform, and both of us cried tears of joy. The entire town was there, of course, and it was beyond perfect. When the team decided to revisit Cottage Grove this year for the charity event and invited us to attend, we couldn't turn down the opportunity. Today is the last day, and we're here for brunch. It's not much different from last time, except of course for the twins. I look over at Mike and Lily and their 2 boys. Lily looks at me and smiles. She's holding Danny as he fights sleep. It's way past everyone's nap time, and Jack and Michael are beginning to tear up the joint. I hear Mike laugh as Michael runs under another table near the back of the room. Luckily, the brunch is a family-friendly affair, and everyone's kids are acting a bit crazy. I'm exhausted, Lily exclaims. I have to get home and do some writing. This weekend has completely thrown me off schedule. Ooh, are you almost finished with your next book? I ask as I sway with Leah, who's falling asleep in my arms, while Danny reaches out his hand to try and touch her hair. Don't get too excited. It's only my first draft. Lily, if it's anything like your last book, I have a lot to be excited about. Lily and Mike moved to Cottage Grove right after Mason and I got married. They had made the decision to move to town almost immediately after visiting, but were waiting for Mike to announce his official retirement. His retirement happened to coincide with me selling my house, since Mason and I would only need one. I love having them as neighbors. Lily's first book did amazing, and her next book has been anticipated by fans all over the world for the past year. Finishing it took her longer than she thought with the boys. Finally, with Mike's help, she was able to buckle down and almost get it done. I can't wait to proofread it for her. One of the perks of loving books and having the author be a close friend. I find my gaze searching for my husband, and it falls on him across the room talking to my brother. Leah is holding Jack and cooing at him. Jack has a fistful of her hair and is shoving it in his mouth. I laugh out loud and Mason's eyes catch mine. I feel the heat in them from across the room and a blush creeps up my face. The man then has the audacity to wink at me, knowing exactly what he's doing. I squint my eyes and slowly shake my head at him with a look that speaks volumes. "I'll get you later, Mr. Sanderson," I mouth.
Promise, Mrs. Sanderson?
He mouths back, and I throw my head back and laugh again, startling Leah. "Emily?" Lily's voice interrupts my silent conversation with my handsome husband, and I turn my smile on her. I didn't even realize she was talking to me. "You too." She rolls her eyes at me. "Seriously? Have you seen you and Mike? You two make sugar taste like salt." She lets out a chuckle. "What can I say? I have the absolute best husband in the world, and I know it." "The second best," I say, looking up at Mason, as he and a very sleepy-looking Jack make their way over to me.
I think these two are ready for a nap.
He leans in and kisses me. My nerve endings tingle.
To be honest, I may be too. This little devil might be the death of me.
"Had you running a few obstacles, did he?" I ask with a chuckle as I run my finger down Jack's cheek. He grabs it with both hands and tries to shove it in his mouth. I bop his nose and pull my hand away. "Where are my brother and Leah?"
I'm not sure. They said they had somewhere to head off to. Leah said she would give you a call later.
I squint my eyes at him and tilt my head. Mason shrugs his shoulders with a very clear, "Don't ask me" look. After Leah and Jack conspired to get Mason and I together, they grew from co-conspirators to a secret couple. They were being anything but subtle, even though they thought no one noticed. However, there are no secrets in Cottage Grove, and the rumor mill's tongues were wagging about them for a bit, as it was pretty obvious to everyone. Jack and Leah would always bicker, and then one day, it just kind of stopped. At first, it was a bit unnerving, and then it was kind of cute. Bets are now being placed on how long it is before Jack pops the question. The most popular answer is spring, but I'm beginning to wonder if it will be much sooner than that.
Ready?
Mason interrupts my thoughts. I nod.
I'll go grab our coats.
I kiss Leah's head and watch him and Jack walk away. Oh, how I love my life. I'm married to my best friend and have an amazing family of my own.
What are you thinking about, happily ever after, girl?
Mason whispers in my ear as he hands me my and Leah's coats. How my happily ever after is better than I ever dreamed. I lean in to kiss him, but right before our lips connect, there is a hand sticking fingers in my mouth. "Oh, you." Mason and I both laugh as I grab and hold Jack's hand and give my husband a kiss. It's short and sweet, since Jack is really not happy about being held any longer, and his squirming is making it difficult to hold on to him. Leah, however, is passed out from all her work at being the perfect little girl. Mason gives me a look full of meaning, and we both laugh. I love my life and wouldn't trade it for the world, but we have our hands full. There will be plenty of time for kisses and more when the twins are sleeping.
This has been Never Fall for Your Brother's Best Friend, a sweet, small-town, friends